separates you from the heavy rain trying to infiltrate your home. If your old roof is leaking, think of Findlay First for a remarkable roof replacement. Schedule a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof, roof.
When you're injured on the job, you need more than just a workers' comp lawyer. When you need a fighter, you need us. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. For the people. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 11 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top local stories happening now. Metro Atlanta residents and law enforcement members come together to remember the life of a DeKalb County police officer. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien reports live. Officer David Rose died in the line of duty during the shooting attack on the CDC.
Yeah, that's right, Austin. Officer David Rose is being remembered as a hero and a person with a calm presence and clear confidence. Interim DeKalb County Police Chief Greg Pedrick says Rose showed the best of what it means to wear the badge.
Though we feel the ache of his absence, his spirit will remain within us in every act of service, in every moment of courage, and every kindness shared. Officer David Rose, we thank you. We honor you, and though you are gone from our sight, you will never be gone from our hearts.
Police agencies from around Georgia are represented here today. Governor Kemp and the CDC director are among those inside this church attending the service. The service will also honor Rose's military career with a 21-gun salute, the playing of taps, and a flyover. Reporting live at DeKalb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Thank you, Jonathan. It is 77 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta, cloudy with some scattered showers throughout the day today. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast coming up at 12:05. 2 children abducted from Florida are found in Metro Atlanta and their mothers arrested. A Fulton County Sheriff's deputy working with the U.S. Marshals Service arrests 43-year-old Audrey Turner at a hotel in Henry County. An Amber Alert was issued August 18th out of Riviera Beach, Florida. Her kids, ages 3 and 11, now in the custody of the Georgia Division of Family and Children's Services. Turner's now in the Fulton County Jail and will be extradited to Florida. Gwinnett County School Board members approve a proposal to put unarmed security at each of its elementary schools after hearing from parents and young students.
Board members vote to increase security at Gwinnett County elementary schools a week after a student fired a gun inside a school bathroom at Meadow Creek Elementary. No one was injured, but the incident stirred up fears among Gwinnett parents and students.
What does not belong in a school? A gun. It's just crazy thinking about it.
Ivy Creek Elementary 5th grader Jasmine Cavallero says the unarmed security may not go far enough.
Weapon detectors will help guns not get into schools.
The school district recently approved plans to put weapons detection systems in all of its middle and high schools, but not its elementary schools. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
FBI agents are seen searching the home of President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. Reports claim the FBI is carrying out that operation at Bolton's home in Maryland after allegations that he has classified records.
While the search was underway, FBI Director Kash Patel posted on social media, "No one is above the law. FBI agents are on a mission."
Jonathan Carl reports Bolton was not home at the time of that search. Convicted killer Lyle Menendez goes before a California parole board today to learn whether he'll be granted parole after decades in prison. Comes a day after his brother Eric was denied parole for the 1989 shotgun murders of their parents. The two were resentenced 3 months ago to 50 years to life with the possibility of parole. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell indicates an interest rate could be coming next month. Powell makes those comments in a meeting with Fed officials in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Nonetheless, with policy in restrictive territory, the baseline outlook and the shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting our policy stance.
The markets have reacted to his comments. The Dow and Nasdaq both up about 2% this hour, while the S&P is up a little over 1.5%. Bathroom fixture leader Toto expands in Clayton County with a 3-story specialty toilet factory, which will boost their U.S. production by 50%. Toto spokesperson Bill Strang says the $224 million expansion comes amid a bidet boom started during COVID.
Bidets increase their viability. You know, we had this thing called the Great Toilet Paper Panic of 2020, right? I call it the toilet paper panic, COVID, of course. The great thing about that was we saw consumers start to buy this product at a rate that we had not seen before.
The plant in Morrow has more than 400 workers. There are 4 facilities in the United States. A new proposal in DeKalb County would be designed to bring the police department closer to the county's LGBTQ community.
It's an idea pushed by Commissioner Ted Terry, who points to a pair of recent reports, including a study called Policing the Rainbow, which finds more than half of LGBTQ members think their last encounter with police was unfair. His proposals include establishing an LGBTQ liaison for DeKalb Police, along with more training so officers can better spot hate crimes. It's a plan that's already been implemented in other local areas, including Atlanta, Chamblee, and South Fulton Police. Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
It's 12:04. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, Austin, got a new crash heading into downtown northbound. This is 7585 northbound, just before I-20, exit 247, right there near the old, near Center Park Stadium for Georgia State. It's in the second left lane in on the left shoulder. Seeing the brake lights back to Highway 166 Langford Parkway. And 400 northbound, we have some construction. I think it's the rolling left lane construction in Sandy Springs. 400 northbound approaching Northridge Road, exit 6. Tap of the brakes there. And travel advisory into Kennesaw at Ackworth. Right lane construction, 75 South Wade Green Road, exit 273. Use Highway 41. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Now it's time for Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast, sponsored by Shoemate, the official air conditioning of Atlanta. Here's WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards.
Cloudy skies for the course of today, high 84. A few hit or miss rain showers, especially along I-20 and areas south. Those will develop through the afternoon and the evening hours. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with hit or miss rain showers, high 81. Scattered rain showers on Sunday with a few rumbles of thunder, high 82. Then a cold front moving through on Monday. It's going to sweep all the rain out of the metro region. Sunny skies on Monday with drier air moving in, high 85. Tuesday morning lows in the low 60s. Tuesday afternoon highs in the low 80s.
80 degrees in Kennesaw, 77 in Norcross and Midtown. More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings, conversationalists. Welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. It is an open line Friday, 877-973-7425. If you wish to be on the program, we got to get to the John Bolton news here out of the gate. We're waiting for the President of the United States, who said he would be speaking sometime around noon. Let me give you my thoughts on the John Bolton situation. I know John Bolton a little bit, and I am of two minds on this. And I'm not strident on either one. Obviously, my initial gut reaction is that he's been a pretty vocal and open critic of the president. I know people who worked in the president's first term who are afraid of harassment this term, and they're critics and they keep their mouths shut, or they try to be loyalists as publicly as they can because they're worried about being bullied by the president and his team. And obviously the gut reaction of people on television is that, oh, this is Donald Trump silencing his critics. He's an authoritarian. That's part of my gut. Part of my gut is people who have been in Washington a long time are talking heads and get some level of clout oftentimes over time as they rise in stature within a movement, think themselves above the law, and there may be a there there. They had to go to court and get a warrant. They had to get judicial permission. They had to be able to state the evidence they had. And yes, the cynics will say that give them enough time, they can indict a ham sandwich. Yes, that's true. But they had to go to a court in Maryland where the judges are not necessarily as favorable to the Trump administration as they are in other places. And they were able to get a judge to sign off on a raid of John Bolton's home. So maybe there is a there there. All of that is to say, I'm not digging my heels in. During the Biden administration, there were, of course, the raids on Jeff Clark. They perp walked him out of his house, and Roger Stone, There was the Mar-a-Lago raid, and if Democrats think that this is going after your political enemies, they didn't pay attention to what Democrats did to Donald Trump. That doesn't justify this. Two wrongs don't make a right. But for them to say this has never been done before and this is unusual, they haven't been paying attention. They haven't cared. It would be very, very troubling if this were a raid on John Bolton solely to intimidate him or others. And I will tell you, in all candor and honesty, there are those who worked for Donald Trump his first term who are keeping their mouths shut because they're afraid this is the sort of stuff that he would do. My gut overall, though, tells me this. That's too easy. It's too easy. Here's where I am in society overall, where politics are, where everything, and this, by the way, this is also why I'm somewhat skeptical of a lot of the stuff being trotted out by the Trump team and Tulsi Gabbard on the Obama involvement in the Russiagate stuff. It fits too easy. It just fits too easy into the narrative. The Russiagate stuff, oh my gosh, it turns out every last thing that was believed by the right turns out to be exactly true the way the right believed it. That doesn't happen. And yet that's the Tulsi Gabbard stuff on Obama and who knew what and what they were doing and how they were seeing. That's exactly the way they've scripted this. And it's a script. And it's really convenient that everything you thought was true is true exactly the way you thought it was true. That's not how life works ever. Even the stuff that you think is true that turns out to be true is often true not quite the way you thought it, and yet in this case, exactly so. I don't think that's right. It makes me skeptical. And that's what's going on here with John Bolton. The media wants us to believe that Donald Trump's an authoritarian who is going to send law enforcement, the FBI, after those he disagrees with. And oh my gosh, it's played out exactly as the media predicted in every single way, going after the people they predicted it was going to be. That's just too easy, and life doesn't work that way. So that leads me to believe there might just be a there, and that John Bolton might have flown too close to the sun. Might have been riding high in his britches a little bit, and there's something there. That's where I am on this. All that to say, I'm divided. I do have concerns about both parties bullying people, particularly within their parties, who disagree with them. The Democrats have done it. The Republicans do it. I do. But there's just my spidey sense is that it's just way too conveniently playing to the script the media and Democrats wanted in the same way the Russiagate stuff does for the Republicans. And I just have been around long enough to never see life work exactly that way. When everything falls into place exactly the way you said it would fall into place, confirming every single one of your priors, there's a story being told that isn't quite right. And so that's why I'm not willing to jump immediately to condemnation of, oh my gosh, this is, they're coming for John Bolton because he's a critic. It could very well be he has kept classified evidence and was a source of leaks against Donald Trump. That is the allegation. And you got a federal judge, magistrate at least, to agree to this raid. And it gives the Democrats fodder to talk about. But again, it's like the Republicans in Russiagate. It just lines up too conveniently to all of their presuppositions, and that never happens in reality, which is why I think there could be a there, and I will wait and see. While, by the way, I also think, they don't want me to use the R word anymore. People get offended by the R word, the R word. You would never call someone who was that word. You only call stupid people that word for behaving that way. But nonetheless, so we here like to say 30 feet above the runway, because if you fly an Airbus plane and you get to 30 feet over the runway, it starts saying the R word twice to remind you to pull back and slow down. So I think there are a lot of people who are 30 feet above the runway when they're dealing with this sort of thing. And also, I think the people who are really at 30 feet above the runway are the ones who are saying this is to distract from Jeffrey Epstein. There literally were Democrats on television this morning. There's a Democratic congressman saying this is to distract from Jeffrey Epstein. If you believe that the John Bolton raid this morning at 7 a.m. was to distract from the Jeffrey Epstein situation, you are simple Jack flying a plane 30 feet above a runway. I can't express it any other way other than using the R word to describe you, and they have asked me not to use the R word. People get really upset about it these days. Still a perfectly good word. Nonetheless, you're 30 feet above a runway, Simple Jack, if you believe that this is about Jeffrey Epstein. If you don't know who Simple Jack is, you should watch Tropic Thunder. Great movie. I highly, highly, highly enjoyed that movie. And while this is happening, we're not talking about what actually should be the biggest story of the day. And this actually is, I think, the biggest story of the day. Jin Chao Wei, known as Patrick Wei, has been convicted of espionage. He sold Navy secrets to a Chinese intelligence officer. Jin Chao Wei, 25 years old, goes by Patrick Wei, was found guilty of 6 crimes, including conspiracy to commit espionage, an unlawful export of, and conspiracy to export technical data related to defense articles in violation of the Arms Export Control Act and the International Traffic in Arms Regulations. He was found not guilty on 1 count of naturalization fraud. Prosecutors said Wei used his position as a machinist mate on the amphibious assault ship USS Essex at Naval Base San Diego to feed information to a Chinese intelligence officer who recruited Wei on social media in February 2022. He held a U.S. security clearance and had access to sensitive national defense information, including the weapons on the Essex. Amphibious assault ships allow the military to project power and maintain presence by serving as the cornerstone of the Navy's amphibious readiness and expeditionary strike capabilities. An attorney for Wei said there was no doubt his client's actions were wrong, but he never intended to harm the United States. According to the news releases, the intelligence officer initially presented himself as a naval enthusiast working for a shipbuilding company in China. First of all, I would note, Mr. President, why have you not complied with the law and shut down TikTok? Why have you not complied with the law and shut down TikTok? The law says TikTok should have been shut down a long time ago. None of us can sue. None of us have standing to sue to make you do it, but you should shut TikTok down. This is yet another person who has spied for China and compromised national security, and we are allowing a Chinese surveillance app called TikTok to reign supreme in the United States. Why are you allowing TikTok to continue in the United States, Mr. President? Second, what the NBC News story leaves out, but what I say is actually true, is you know who encouraged him to continue spying for China? His mother. That's right. Patrick Wei's mother, according to multiple outlets and in trial, encouraged him to continue spying for China so that he could get a good job in China. The mom encouraged the spying. Her son will go to prison because the mom encouraged this. We've been a little bit too licentious in allowing foreigners into the United States to take up citizenship who don't want to integrate into and assimilate into the country, but want to keep their former country as their top priority. We've seen a couple of members of Congress who are immigrants talk about advancing the interests of their former countries, not their present country. We've been a little bit too pushed towards the left on assimilation, where we're a salad bowl instead of a melting pot. We need to get back to the melting pot. We need to do so pretty quickly, I think. We need people to assimilate into the United States, to become part of the United States, not to be Americans, but also with patriotic ties to their former home. It's possible. My grandfather immigrated to the United States. He was Swedish. So was my grandmother. And they were very pro-America and raised their children as Americans, not as Swedes. My father, who is 100% Swedish, has never been to Sweden. It is possible to raise your children as immigrants to be American. I know many Indian and Pakistani families that live in my neighborhood where the kids are as American as you and me. They've never been to India or Pakistan. They love the United States. They have their favorite football team. They have their favorite baseball team. They're as American as you and me. It doesn't mean that only white people can do it. Everybody can do it. We just have to set our minds to doing it. And we should be discouraging the salad bowl theory where everybody keeps their uniqueness in the country. No, we all blend together. A more homogenous country. The taco becomes as American as the hamburger, as American as the gumbo, as American as the corn souffle that you serve on Thanksgiving. This is appalling, though, that China continues to do this, and we continue to treat China with kid gloves. I'll believe the President of the United States is taking China seriously as a military threat when he shuts down TikTok, which is, we know, a surveillance collection operation for the Chinese. The President has not yet done that. He's been given ample opportunity to, and he needs to shut down TikTok as quickly as possible in this country. It is a surveillance app for the Chinese, and you will note the Chinese recruited Patrick Wee over social media. I don't know what app. My suspicion is TikTok, but I don't know that that's the case. But they recruited him over TikTok, or over social media, rather. I don't know that it was TikTok. And his mother encouraged loyalty to China. We got to start taking the Chinese way more seriously than we do as a military threat. We really do. And I would urge this administration to go on and get rid of TikTok because TikTok is part of the Chinese intelligence operation. Also, I think this administration is right to start reviewing the visas of the millions of immigrants who have come to this country on visas, whether or not they're actually assimilating. There was another example yesterday of a person who is an immigrant to this country saying the United States needs to be crumbled because she's upset about our support of Israel. We've had multiple videos this week of immigrants to this country saying the United States in some way needs to be destroyed. Those are the people that we need to deport. And good for Marco Rubio for pushing to deport anyone who's immigrated to this country who wants to destroy this country. This country is the best country, and we will not stay the best country if we don't take seriously our need to lead the world, and that includes taking the bad guys like China seriously. And for those who say, well, we're becoming a banana republic because of John Bolton, again, I just think it's way too convenient, It conforms exactly to the Democrats' narrative, and life is never that simple. And for the Democrats to make hay out of this, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach. What actually are the allegations, and what actually did they find, and what actually do they have? And if it really was just a witch hunt to embarrass him and silence him, you know I'll call him out because I'm happy to call him out and have been calling him out on tariffs and everything else. But I just don't know yet, and I just think it's way too simplistic of a narrative that this has fallen into for the left for it to actually be true.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1222, Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Some better news heading into downtown. That crash, 7585 northbound, just before I-20 exit 247. They've cleared it. All lanes are back open, so those delays back toward Langford Parkway will start to improve. If you're traveling I-20 eastbound on the West Freeway, seeing a few brake lights passing Riverside Parkway, and right lane construction continues in Kennesaw, 75 south at Wade Green. Traffic brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. International Hot Rod Association and Duran Hybrid, where the roar of the engine meets the torque of the wrench, building champions on the track and in the trades. Get your tickets at ihra.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your first chance to win is Monday at 8 a.m.
I am so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know him. That's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, tell me something you've done recently to help you love your home.
Our whole house water filtration system. Before we got our whole house filter, our water kind of tasted like chlorine, kind of had an odd smell to it. Ever since we put the whole house filter in, now our water smells perfect, it tastes great, and it cleans every single faucet in our house. So at our toilet, at our sink, at our shower, we have clean water.
That's the kind of thing that's good for the whole family.
Absolutely. So this is our kids, myself, washing water, our cleaning water, our cooking water, and of course, even the dog gets clean water now. It took less than a day for the team to install the 2 new filters for the house. Now every single faucet my family uses has filtered water.
Josh, thank you. I believe a water filtration system from TE will help a lot of our listeners love their home more.
TE Certified, we love your home.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, we want you to feel like a kid in a candy store. All of our diamonds are in stock, in-store and online, so you get to use your eyes, not your imagination. Come in and look at marquee-shaped diamonds right next to ovals and pears. As your friend and jeweler, you can trust you'll get your dream diamond at an everyday competitive price. We have the widest selection in-store and at shaneco.com, because a friend knows choosing a diamond is personal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers. If you think you have a problem, we all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your Virtual Imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
If you're a man with a family, you do have 2 jobs. And that second job after your tough day at the office needs your energy and focus too. Try this today. On the way home, find a point halfway home and mentally leave everything from your first job there. Spend the rest of the ride getting ready for your second job so you can walk through the door ready to give your best. This is Tom Gray, and This Stuff Matters.
ThisStuffMatters.net.
Sponsored by DQ Grill and Chill in Powder Springs, located on Austell Powder Springs Road.
If you've ever organized your closet only to have it look like a bomb went off in there 1 month later, then it's time to call Artisan Custom Closets. Reach-in closets, walk-in closets, pantry spaces, garages. With a custom spacious closet from Artisan, you'll never have to deal with all that clutter again. All your stuff neatly organized and designed to stay that way. Call the Closet Bomb Squad, Artisan Custom Closets. They'll diffuse your clutter and make it safe to enter your closet again. ArtisanCustomClosets.com.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Text Eric to 33777 and get the 4 Things You Need to Know podcast. Eric tells you the 4 things to pay attention to after the show. Also available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app.
Welcome back. It is Eric Erickson here. Glad to have you with me. If you would please, it's an open line Friday. You can call in 877-973-7425. Although this is a short segment, so you're just going to have to wait. I do want you to know, though, there is other news. Jerome Powell has set the market skyrocketing, particularly the Dow now hitting record territory, suggesting there probably is going to be an interest rate cut in September. saying that there are warning signs that the economy is slowing down, and that actually is true. The interest that's coming, inflation that's coming, is mostly tariff related, so it's containable, but there are warning signs in the economy, and a lot of them, frankly, are related to the tariffs, too. So probably going to have a rate cut coming very soon as next month, according to Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve. Now, I got to tell you about Vision Computer. If you're looking to save money for your company, you've got managed IT, what does it hurt you to call 404-COMPUTE and talk to Vision Computer? And it doesn't matter if you're in Hawaii or Maine, Washington or Florida. It doesn't matter. Vision helps companies across the country with managed IT. And what really sets them apart is that you don't have to do email tickets and AI chats. You pick up the phone and you call, and they answer the phone in 15 seconds or less. So your employees never have to try to describe what's going on in an email. They just pick up the phone and get somebody on the phone, and they can get back to work. It keeps you more productive. Call them at 404-COMPUTE or go to visioncomputers.com to find out more. If you call them at 404-COMPUTE for yourself or for your company and tell them Eric sent you, you're going to save some more money. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. Let Vision see if they can save your company money. They can also build you great computers as well and save you money there. And they are very hands-on, world-class customer service for your home, your office, your family. Let them build your computer. Let them service it. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 12:30. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top local story, the memorial service for fallen DeKalb County police officer David Rose, is wrapping up this hour. Community members have exited the First Baptist Church of Atlanta in Dunwoody for a 21-gun salute and flyover.
David lived that love every day through his devotion to his family, through his commitment to his community, and his courage as an officer.
That's DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson speaking during today's memorial. Other attendees include Governor Kemp and CDC Director Susan Monarez. A Japanese company known for its high-tech bathroom fixtures announces a $224 million expansion in Clayton County.
Toto will open its most advanced U.S. factory yet in Clayton County. This amid a sort of bidet boom, as an industry report says. 2 in 5 U.S. home renovators now choose specialty toilets. Comedian Ali Wong is among the celebrities raising the profile of the washlets.
A Toto toilet is this magical Japanese toilet. The seat is always warm.
The $224 million expansion will boost domestic production by nearly 50% and boost Clayton County's economy by $43 million a year. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
Gwinnett County issues a warning for some residents in the city of Grayson. They will see significant delays in their property tax bills. Most county residents will receive their bills mid-next month, but those in Grayson won't receive their bills until mid-November. The department says that's all because of recent changes from the state legislature. We have live team coverage of traffic and weather next. It's 12:31.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service. Really? Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 10/9/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of 1 unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. 1 discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
When markets get rocky, the worst thing you can do is nothing. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president and founder of Nicholas Wealth Management. Times like these demand action and a plan you can trust. That's why we rely on our trademark Retire Ready Bucket strategy. This strategy is designed to place a percentage of your portfolio into lower risk, income producing income bucket, aiming to generate steady cash flow for the first 10 to 15 years of retirement. Meanwhile, your growth bucket is filled with dividend and growth stocks, which has time to recover when markets are going crazy. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a time to sit down with our team to review your plan. This strategy was crafted by experience. It's battle tested, and it's how you aim to keep your retirement on track even when the markets are not. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we're prepared. Are you? Don't wait for the next headline to shake your confidence. Call Nicholas Wealth today, 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management. Retire ready.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Neither the information nor any opinion expressed is to be construed as solicitation to buy or sell a security or personalized investment, tax, or legal advice.
It's 12:34. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Toughest slow spot we're watching around the metro area, Austin, is that construction zone up in the northwest territory. 75 southbound between Ackworth and Kensaw, all jammed up with the right lane construction near Wade Green Road, exit 273. You can use Highway 41 as an alternate. Downtown, 75-85 northbound crash still off to the right up around I-20. A few brake lights from University Avenue up to Freedom Parkway, and southbound a little sluggish from Midtown 17th Street to North Avenue. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with off and on rain showers today. High 84, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, hit or miss rain showers, high 81. Sunday, mostly cloudy, a few rumbles of thunder possible, high 82.
It's 78 in Conyers, Austell, and Midtown. More news at 1 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back. Eric Erickson here, 877-973-7425. Let's go to the phones here. Nick, you're up first. Welcome.
Thanks, Eric. Really enjoy the show. And I enjoyed the comments you made about TikTok and the ban. I get that. Right, we know the Chinese are spying on us. But, on the other token, I'm wondering if we don't shut that down because it gives us insight into how they are spying. So we can almost use that as much of a tool as they do to see how they're collecting data and their methods of madness. I'm just wondering if you have any insight on that and how we could potentially use that.
We can't. That's why the law was there to get rid of it, is because everything is routed through China. We don't have access to those servers, so we can't actually see. Yeah, I mean that's the problem here. Is so every just so everybody understands here. So every social media company on planet Earth that runs through the United States has servers in the United States, and they run their algorithm on the servers. In TikTok's case, they have servers in this country that put the videos on, but then everything is transferred to China, and the algorithm is actually produced in China and sent back. It's the only company that does that.
I get that, but just as we think the Russians are spying on us and we have hacks and things, it's not too far-fetched to think that maybe we can hack in and get an insight into that. But again, I'm leaning on you for your insight and your thought process.
So remember, there's only one pipe into China. Sure. If you pull up the list of internet cables into the United States beyond satellite, you've got a bunch of them that come in for the West Coast and the East Coast. There's only one in China, and it goes through the Chinese military. It's harder to hack into China remotely. You have to actually be in China to hack because everything gets filtered through the Chinese
military. You're saying almost.
Yeah. So we can't go in via satellite, and we can't go in through wired connections without it passing through. There's one access point. And think about this. They call it the Great Firewall of China. There is a single access point to connect the internet to China. The Chinese have a massive intranet inside China, but to get to the outside world, you have to go through a military installation that monitors every bit and byte that comes in and out of the country. So that's why it's harder to hack into China without physically sending a spy to China to do it. But then if you did it, you couldn't get the data back out over the internet. You have to physically take it back out of China because of their internet. I mean, it's to control their
Yeah,
people.
you made a good point. The intranet is a whole lot different than the internet. So I can see how that would be a challenge. And, thanks again for your insight on that, because it's almost too glaringly obvious, but when you put it like that, it makes way more sense. And then TikTok is really a threat to our security and our kids.
And so just so you know, Nick, and for everybody else, do you know the number one way that the Chinese use TikTok? And this actually, if you have an adopted kid or know a family with an adopted kid from China, the number one way China uses TikTok, and we know this from their own documentation, I'm not making this up, it's actually in writing, is they're building facial recognition of Chinese children adopted into the United States because they still believe they're Chinese citizens. And so as your Chinese adopted child grows, China's building facial recognition profiles of your child if they use TikTok. They do facial recognition through TikTok of journalists so they can monitor journalists. But it's not just that. They also use the algorithm to feed propaganda. So, for example, if you go on TikTok and you start looking about the Palestinian-Israeli situation, you've got a new account. And by the way, if you want to do this, go get yourself a new phone. Don't tie it to your phone and don't connect it to Wi-Fi. Why? Because the moment you bring this new phone home and connect it to your Wi-Fi, they're going to think it's related to you. So keep cell service. Brand new phone. Make it a burner phone so you paid cash. It's not tied to you. Download TikTok. New account. Don't use your old account. Get a new account. Download TikTok. Look for the Israeli-Palestinian matter. You're going to start getting flooded with pro-Hamas propaganda. You're going to start getting flooded with pro-Chinese propaganda. Now, set the algorithm so it believes you're a high school kid in the United States. You're going to start getting flooded with pro-transgender propaganda. Get a burner phone. You pay cash for. It's not tied to you or your Wi-Fi, your credit cards, anything like that. They can't tell it's you. Go start it like it's a new one. Say you're a high school kid, you're interested in these topics, and watch the Chinese algorithm begin to try to indoctrinate you against the United States. TikTok is a massive threat. It's not just a threat because the Chinese are spying on it. It's a threat because the Chinese are using it to program our kids against American values. Now, I got to move on. I want you to know I saw something last night online, and I thought it was AI generated, and it wasn't. It was real, and it has blown up. I've told you about the situation in Loudoun County, Virginia. In Loudoun County, Virginia, 3 boys in a boys' locker room were complaining to each other about a girl now being in the locker room. The girl now identifies as a boy. And in Loudoun County, Virginia, not only do they allow the girls in the boys' locker room and the boys into the girls' locker rooms if they so identify, but if you complain, you get in trouble. In this case, the 3 boys did not like having a girl in their locker room. They're talking about it, and she videotapes them in violation of the rules. She does not get in trouble. The 3 boys get in trouble. 2 of the 3 boys get suspended. The 3rd boy does not get suspended because he's Muslim. The Muslim parents are as angry about it as the non-Muslim parents. And there was a rally yesterday in Loudoun County, Virginia. And Winsome Sears is the Republican gubernatorial candidate. And she went there. For those of you who don't know Winsome Earl Sears, she's a Marine and she's black. Her family immigrated from Jamaica. Yes, the Republicans in Virginia, the capital of the Confederacy, are running a black woman who is a Marine to be governor of the state of Virginia against a very milquetoast Democrat named Abigail Spanberger. Winsome Sears showed up yesterday in Northern Virginia to side with the 3 boys and their families who are being punished by the school system. Well, 2 of the 3 being punished by the school system because the boys were uncomfortable having a girl in their space. And a white woman, who I'm told is a local government employee, showed up and had this sign: "Hey, Winsome, If trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. I'm going to read it to you again. I thought this was a joke. I thought it was AI. I couldn't believe some white woman thought this was a good idea. Hey, Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. It's good white woman equating transgenderism to the civil rights struggle where black people weren't allowed to use water fountains, weren't allowed to sit in restaurants, weren't allowed to sit at the front of the bus. She's equating the trans struggle to Jim Crow and the civil rights struggle. In point of fact, a trans person can use the bathroom of their sexual identity. A black person, however, in Virginia for a very long time, couldn't use the water fountains that white people used. That this white woman can't understand the difference and why that might be racially offensive tells you how broken the left is on this stuff. One person in the background with a trans flag held up a sign, "Keep guns out of schools, not kids out of bathrooms." But this one really takes the cake. White woman with that uppity, progressive white woman haircut. Hey, Winsome, if trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. She's willing to discriminate against black people if we don't allow girls into the boys' bathroom and boys into the girls' bathroom. If boys are not allowed to use the girls' bathroom and girls are not allowed to use the boys' bathroom, well, then the black people can't use the water fountains anymore. That's where this white woman is. Winsome Earls, I've invited her on the radio today. I'm not sure she's going to be able to make it on to talk about this, but she was on Fox News this morning talking to Brian Kilmeade about this.
Virginia doesn't have trouble understanding that our young girls ought to be safe undressing in their locker rooms and not having biological men a full frontal nude in front of them. And by the way, boys have the same right. Virginia doesn't have any issue with that. It is these 5 Northern Virginia schools that are having some sort of issue understanding that safety means safety and education is what they're supposed to be about, not about these other issues. Parents don't send their children to school not being safe. They want to learn reading, writing, and arithmetic. This is not hard. Do your jobs.
And because you're saying this, they're going after you personally and about your background.
I mean, what level of tone deafness? I talk to you all the time about how progressives are in a bubble. Like, you can go all day as a progressive and never have to encounter someone who disagrees with you, but it's real hard for a conservative to do the same. And this white woman really thought it was a good idea. And by the way, that they caught her on film with the chairman of the local Democratic Party, who told her she might not want to hold up the sign because it's provoked people on the right. Not because the sign was bad, not because it wasn't a good thought, but because it was provoking people on the right. She might not want to hold the sign up. It was going to go viral and possibly make them look bad. The Democrats didn't care. By the way, Abigail Spanberger said nothing until just a little while ago. And interestingly enough, she has now condemned it. It's taken her about 12 hours or longer to condemn, more than 12 hours, to condemn the sign. And what she claims is that she said something about it last night, which she didn't actually say. She retweeted a reporter. She didn't say anything about it. Only now is she releasing a statement condemning it. And it's just wild to me that it is, I don't know, more than 12 hours that the Democratic candidate for governor in Virginia had to actually wait more than 12 hours to say something critical about this sign. I don't think this speaks well of Abigail Spanberger. I mean, your gut reaction should be that it's bad. Your gut reaction should be to condemn this level of racism from this progressive white woman. But, I mean, your gut reaction should be that boys shouldn't be in girls' bathrooms. Your gut reaction should be that girls shouldn't be in boys' bathrooms. Your gut reaction should be that boys videotaped in a bathroom among boys, being boys, talking to other boys, is not something that those boys should be punished for, but the girl videotaping them should be punished. Here's the thing. Things have not been going great for the Republicans in Virginia. Winsome Earl Sears has been running behind Abigail Spanberger. This kind of has given Winsome Earl Sears the traction she needed to close out this campaign. The polls have suddenly gotten close in Virginia, and now this. Jason Miyares is the Attorney General in Virginia. He's outperforming all the other Republicans of the state. Great guy. I wish he was the Attorney General of the United States, but I'm glad he is the Attorney General in Virginia. And Jason Miyares has a huge opening with the way these schools are treating the boys in Northern Virginia. This education issue in Northern Virginia continues to alienate progressives in Virginia from everyone else. Even Democrat parents in Northern Virginia, a lot of them are not down with what the progressives are doing, and it's giving them license to either vote Republican or sit home. You will recall when Glenn Youngkin was running against Terry McAuliffe, it was a dogfight until the end, and it was a debate where Terry McAuliffe said parents shouldn't have a say in their kids' education. And that education moment, that statement, is what galvanized the Youngkin campaign and put wind in their sails to get across the finish line ahead of Terry McAuliffe and carry the Republicans. If Winsome Earl Sears gets people to understand that this is where we are as a society, progressives believe boys should be in girls' bathrooms and girls in boys' bathrooms, and the boys should be punished if they object to the girl. And the progressives believe that this is like blacks and water fountains of the 1950s and 60s. Suddenly she's got a galvanizing message to remind people why they want to reject the progressive left. And frankly, she should play this up and talk about nothing else for the next 2 months as this campaign continues on. Now, let me tell you about Old Glory Bank. You want to make your kids money smart? Go to oldglorybank.com/smart. oldglorybank.com/smart. They've set up a free portal for anybody to go to get their guides on financial literacy for kids and teens and families. You can use them as part of a homeschool curriculum. You can use them around your kitchen table, and you can help your kids generate some smarts on money. oldglorybank.com/smart. oldglorybank.com/smart. And if your kids need a checking account, well, they got great custodial accounts there. They've got great online accounts. I've got a bank account with them as well. But right now, they really want you to focus on helping your kids develop some financial sense while they're young. You can use their tools for free. oldglorybank.com/smart is where you go to get the materials for free. oldglorybank.com/smart. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Erick Erickson Show.
1251 Cool Day Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. The right lane construction continues in Kennesaw, 75 south, passing Wade Green Road, exit 273, slowing the ride back into Ackworth. Also seeing brake lights in the work zone into Cobb County, 20 eastbound. You got a right lane blocked approaching Panola Road, exit 71, and just some westbound delays on and off through the work zone, leaving the mall at Stonecrest to the east side perimeter. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Now at Whole Foods Market, Prime members get 20% off New York strip steaks through August 26th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
have no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
When markets get rocky, the worst thing you can do is nothing. Hi, I'm David Nicholas, president and founder of Nicholas Wealth Management. Times like these demand action and a plan you can trust. That's why we rely on our trademark Retire Ready Bucket strategy. This strategy is designed to place a percentage of your portfolio into lower risk, income producing income bucket, aiming to generate steady cash flow for the first 10 to 15 years of retirement. Meanwhile, your growth bucket is filled with dividend and growth stocks, which has time to recover when markets are going crazy. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com to schedule a time to sit down with our team to review your plan. This strategy was crafted by experience. It's battle-tested, and it's how you aim to keep your retirement on track even when the markets are not. So call Nicholas Wealth today at 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. At Nicholas Wealth Management, we're prepared. Are you? Don't wait for the next headline to shake your confidence. Call Nicholas Wealth today, 678-990-8500 or visit nicholaswealth.com. Nicholas Wealth Management. Retire ready.
Nicholas Wealth Management is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Neither the information nor any opinion expressed is to be construed as solicitation to buy or sell a security or personalized investment, tax, or legal advice.
The end of summer doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Your backyard can be your family's happy place all year long in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Shop our huge Labor Day sale with instant rebates up to $2,500 and special financing for 60 months. Hurry, offer ends September 3rd. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of brownspools.com.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Get Eric's daily show prep email. Text DATA to 33777 and you'll be in the know.
Okay, again, I saw a story and I thought it was a fake story, but it's real. A prominent right-wing extremist who once dismissed transgender people as fascists and parasites on society has won permission to serve a prison sentence in a German women's jail after formally changing gender. Marla Svenja-Libschik, 53, who until December went by the name Sven, was convicted of inciting hatred, criminal insults, and trespassing, and handed an 18-month sentence for, among other things, trying to sell a baseball hat over the internet as a deportation aid. Questions are now being raised as to whether the neo-Nazi exploited a recent reform that made it easier for people to alter their officially registered gender. Under previous German law, gender reassignment required two separate supporting opinions from medical specialists. In November, however, the last government Self-Determination Act reduced the threshold to simply signing a form at a local registry office. Liebich has been a leader in the East German extreme right scene since the 90s and ran the regional chapter of an explicitly Nazi organization called Blood and Honor in Saxony-Anhalt. Blood and Honor was banned in 2000. He later organized numerous demonstrations in Halle, his native city, where the local branch of Germany's domestic intelligence agency described his activities as unparalleled. He's a neo-Nazi. He's actually been supporting Vladimir Putin as well, pushing Russian propaganda, and they sentenced him to 18 months in prison. So he went down to a local registry office and declared, "I'm now a woman," and has put on a dress and says, you can't send me to the men's prison now. It's just he's treating it as a costume. And J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, is pointing out that women, apparently feminine, being a woman is now just a costume. A man can take on and off whenever he wants. And she's right. This is the logical outcome of the transgender movement, you should understand, that you get out of being punished in a men's prison by saying, oh, nope, I'm a woman now. I declare it to be so, and everybody's got to believe me. This guy's going to get away with it. Kudos to him, at least, for making a mockery of the law in Germany that deserves to be mocked. But he's a terrible person who now gets to go hang out with a bunch of women in prison instead of the men.
You can count on it.
You can try and plan for it.
But sometimes it gets the best of you.
Stalled Big Rig 285 southbound the outer loop at 166.
When it stops you from getting where you need to be.
Atlanta's most trusted traffic team gets you there.
Here you slow just east of Georgia 400.
Atlanta's most up-to-date traffic reports from local and trustworthy people.
Every time you listen. Triple Team Traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 1 o'clock, I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Dr. Roof. Memorial services are wrapping up for the DeKalb County officer killed in the line of duty during the CDC shooting. WSB's Jonathan O'Brien reports live in Dunwoody, where the community's remembering Officer David Rose.
Yeah, Austin, a flyover 21-gun salute and the playing of taps marked the end of the tributes for a man who is being remembered as a hero. Interim DeKalb County Police Chief Greg Padrick says Officer David Rose will not be forgotten.
David showed us the very best of what it means to wear this badge. He was courageous in the face of risk. He was also compassionate in quiet moments. So let his example remind us of why we serve and how we serve.
Now, the hundreds of people who came for this service included many current and former CDC workers. It even included the CDC director, all of them saying that they feel a connection to this tragedy because Rose died confronting the gunman who was attacking their building. Reporting live in DeKalb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Thank you, Jonathan. It is 78 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. Some scattered showers around the metro. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. Residents of the city of Norcross have the chance to cut down on how much they owe in city property taxes. City homeowners can vote in November on an expansion of the homestead exemption for city property taxes.
Our current homestead exemption in the city of Norcross hasn't been adjusted since 1990. I felt like this is a great opportunity to give some relief back to our community.
Norcross City Councilman Matt Myers says if passed, that act could save homeowners between $225 and $450 a year. Gwinnett County Schools ramps up security at the county's elementary schools after a gun goes off inside a school bathroom.
School board members approve a proposal to put unarmed security at each of its elementary schools after hearing from parents and young students.
There are just some bad people in the world that think it's okay to bring guns into school and shoot people, but it's not okay.
Ivy Creek Elementary fifth grader Jasmine Cavallero references a weapons incident last week at Meadow Creek Elementary.
A kid came in with a gun and shot a toilet. No one got hurt, but you can see how easily someone could have been shot.
The Gwinnett School Board says the unarmed security is a temporary measure until they're able to add more school resource officers. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Wall Street is reacting after Fed Chair Jerome Powell indicates during a Wyoming speech today that there could be an interest rate coming next month. The S&P currently and NASDAQ as well, both up about 1.5%, and the Dow is up about 2% after his comments. Live team coverage of traffic and weather up next. It's 102.
The foods we eat can be downright bad for our health. This is Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've been teaching the truth about real bread. Not the stuff you buy at the store. I'm talking real bread made with freshly milled flour. When you buy bread from the store, take a look at the ingredients. Enriched flour means that the nutritious bran and germ has been removed to improve the shelf life. Then a few B vitamins and iron are added back to replace the multitude of nutrients lost. That's not enrichment in my book. And today, that label may even read contains bioengineered food ingredients. Food should never be bioengineered. At Bread Beckers in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real bread loaded with fiber and nutrients. A delicious, healthy, affordable solution that can improve your health and change your life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
This is Andy Harris, President of Coosa Valley Credit Union, with a personal invitation for you to join our newest branches in Woodstock, Canton, or Dallas. We've been in business in Northwest Georgia for 70 years, and we're proud to now offer kinder banking to Cobb, Cherokee, and Paulding County, where you'll always speak to a real person. With 11 locations, Coosa Valley Credit Union is always local and nearby. Experience kinder banking and stop in a Coosa Valley Credit Union branch near you.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DIN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It's 105, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Just found a new crash in Norcross, Austin. It's in the second left lane on the Jam Cam, 85 southbound Indian Trail Road, exit 101, starting to slow the ride back up toward Duluth. If you are traveling 85 northbound, you're also seeing a little bit of volume from 285 up past Jimmy Carter Boulevard. And the big jam continues in between Ackworth and Kennesaw with that right lane construction, 75 southbound Wade Green Road, exit number 273. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies, not quite as hot, but still humid, high 84. A few hit or miss rain showers through the course this afternoon and evening. Lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow and Sunday, mostly cloudy skies with off and on rain showers, highs in the low 80s.
Right now it's 77 in Forest Park, 80 in Mableton, and 78 degrees in Midtown. More news at 1:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Occasionally, I got to put the story I want to talk about first later in the show because of news. My goodness, holy moly, have I got a story for you guys. But first, hang on, the president is just now speaking in the Oval Office, and I want to go jump over here and listen.
Money wisely on making it really beautiful. It's going to be beautiful again. It's like Washington, D.C. We had, by the way, in Washington, D.C., we have the lowest crime numbers they've had in years. Zero, it sounds like it's a horrible thing to say, but I'm going to say it. Zero murders in the last week since we've done this. That's the first time in memory that that's happened, if you can believe it. How pathetic that is to have to even say it. And I'm tired of listening to these people say how safe it was before we got here. It was unsafe. It was horrible. And Mayor Bowser better act straight or she won't be mayor very long, because we'll take it over with the federal government, run it like it's supposed to be run. The numbers were horrible. It was crime-infested rat hole, and they do a lot of getting rid of.
All right, the feed's not, but this was a announcement about the World Cup, and World Cup, a big deal that Trump wants us to know. Now I can get to this story. I got up this morning, and multiple people sent me a link and said, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" It's like, so what? No. Well, Third Way is a Democrat group. They want to win. Third Way wants to win. And they released a memo this morning. Politico got the first copy of it. They got access to it, and it has just exploded online. Third Way has this memo to all who wish to stop Donald Trump and MAGA from Third Way. For a party that spends billions of dollars trying to find the perfect language to connect to voters, Democrats and their allies use an awful lot of words and phrases no ordinary person would ever dream of saying. The intent of this language is to include, broaden, empathize, accept, and embrace. The effect of this language is to sound like the extreme, divisive, elitist, and obfuscatory enforcers of wokeness. To please the few, we've alienated the many, especially on cultural issues, where our language sounds superior, haughty, and arrogant. In reality, most Democrats do not run or govern on wildly out-of-touch social positions, but voters would be excused to believe we do because of the words that come out of our mouths. Words which sound like we are hiding behind unfamiliar phrases to mask extreme intent. It's not a matter of sounding like that's actually what they're doing. Nonetheless, why the tortured language? After all, many Democrats are aware that the words and phrases we use can be profoundly alienating, but they use it because plain, authentic language that voters understand often rebounds badly among many activists and advocacy organizations. These activists and advocates may take on noble causes, but in doing so, they often demand compliance with their preferred message. That is how Birthing Person became a stand-in for mother or mom. And if we don't think more carefully about our language, many in America will be banking on help from Donald Trump and Republicans because Democratic levers of power will be few and far between. So they said we're not out to police language, but phrases, ban phrases, or create our own form of censorship. We've published papers using these words too. But the public-facing Democrats need to change. So essentially what they're saying is don't change your beliefs, but stop using the words that express your beliefs. Here's the problem. It makes the Democrats even more dishonest. At least they're honest about how insane their positions are. What Third Way is actually asking Democrats to do is to cover up their positions. Let me just go through the list. Therapy speak. These words say, I'm more empathetic than you, and you are callous. Privilege, violence, such as environmental violence, dialoguing, othering, triggering, microaggression, invalidation, progressive stack, centering, safe space, holding space, body shaming. Be aware of words proliferating in elite circles that have closed off open conversation and have made it uncomfortable for many people to engage in hard topics. Seminar room language. The language says, I'm smarter and more concerned about important issues than you. Your kitchen table concerns are small. Subverting norms, systems of oppression, critical theory, cultural appropriation, postmodernism, Overton window, heuristic, existential threat to climate, planet, democracy, the economy. When we use words people don't understand, studies show that part of their brain that signals distrust becomes more active, undermining our ability to reach them. Organizer jargon. These words say we're beholden to groups, not individuals. People have no agency. Radical transparency, small d democracy, barriers to participation, stakeholders, the unhoused, food insecurity, housing insecurity, person who immigrated. Democrats can fight for the poor, the hungry, the homeless, and immigrants more effectively if they speak in everyday language and in the language of the most affected by these issues. Gender orientation correctness. These say your views on traditional gender and gender roles are at best quaint. Birthing person, inseminated person, pregnant people, chest feeding, cisgender, dead naming, heteronormative, patriarchy, LGBTQIA+. Standing up to MAGA's cruel attacks on gay and transgender people requires creating empathy and building a broad coalition, not confusing or shaming people. The shifting language of racial constructs, these are the ones to stop using. Latinx, BIPOC, allyship, intersectionality, minoritized communities. The words that explain away crime: justice involved, carceration, incarcerated people, involuntary confinement. Now, I'm going to editorialize here to my team for a moment. Those on my team who are listening, I want you to push this particular segment when I'm done with this monologuing to you out there. Third Way has released a memo telling Democrats to stop using phrases like food insecurity, the unhoused, birthing person, cisgender, dead naming, postmodernism, safe space, dialoguing, microaggression, and privilege. They don't want Democrats to do this. They think it is alienating to people, and it is. However, the Associated Press style book has embraced this level of progressivism. It is now something that news reports do. Axios, the Politico, CNN, and elsewhere, they use pregnant person. They use unhoused in the Associated Press now. They don't use homeless anymore. They use unhoused. I want to see how quickly the AP style book and the press go back to the normal words, because it will show us just how much collusion there is between the left and the press by how quickly the AP style book changes back from unhoused to homeless, from mom to birthing person. How quickly it is that CNN and the New York Times stop using the phrase cisgendered, because they moved there because that's where the left went. And now Third Way, which is a progressive group actually, is saying you got to stop using these words. You've got to stop using these words because it's alienating to people. How quickly does the Associated Press, the New York Times, CNN, and other major media outlets stop using the words? We're about to see in real time how quickly the collusion goes on in the press, in the media, and the Democratic Party. Because they all started, the press started using these words because progressives told them start using these words. And the Associated Press changed their style book to accommodate the phrasing of the left as they were trying to shift narratives in this country. And dare I say, the Overton window, which they're now not allowed to talk about. I want to see how quickly the press corps conforms and complies with this memo. I'm also interested in the progressive backlash because particularly the trans movement has pushed the phrases like dead naming and heteronormative and patriarchy and cisgender and pregnant people and birthing person and chest feeding. So essentially, Third Way wants us to stop talking about the trans community, wants them not to exist in vocabulary. You cannot talk about a girl as a boy. It's a trans boy. It's a trans man. If you start talking about boys as girls, you're going to come across as crazy as well. So how do you do it without alienating people? That's the problem here. The problem is not the words. The problem is the positions. And Democrats always take the view that it is their messaging. It's never the message. It's never the messenger. It's never the policy. It's just how they talk about it. Latinx is a good example. No one in the Latino community uses Latinx. It's not even a word choice in Spanish that uses masculine and feminine nouns. There's no transgender nouns in Spanish or French. BIPOC, Latinx, these are things that Democrats have just embraced, not just progressives. The good white progressives, the ones who hold up the signs about how blacks can't drink from water fountains, if the trans kids can't go to the bathroom, those are the ones who use these words. What Third Way wants is for the forward-facing leadership of the Democratic Party and the media to stop using words that signal to Americans these people are nuts. They want you to sound normal, but it's the positions, and that's the thing that these people forget. It's the positions. Parents don't want boys in girls' bathrooms or girls in boys' bathrooms. Third Way isn't telling Democrats to give up that issue. They're just telling them to talk about it in a different way. People don't want crime in their community. Third Way is just telling Democrats, change the subject. People don't want a flood of illegal immigrants. Third Way's not saying that, just saying don't call them by certain terms. Can you call them an illegal alien? Because that's what most Americans do. They call them illegal aliens. The AP Style book changed it to undocumented. Undocumented. No, we know who they are. They were documented when they come across the border. Notice Third Way's not telling Democrats to stop talking to them, to stop talking about undocumented people. Instead, they're saying give up Latinx and people who immigrated. There's nothing actually wrong with people who immigrated. They are people who immigrated to the United States, but are they illegal or legal immigrants? They don't want to talk about that one. It's funny, the word choices they want you to stop using are the ones that they never even mention. But what's more funny to me is how the Associated Press Style book and media outlets so quickly picked up on the phraseology of the progressive left. And now here comes Third Way with lots of data to say, hey, this language is alienating to Americans. Stop using it. To the extent that the press rushes to stop using these phrases is the extent to which the press and progressives collaborate together to advance a progressive narrative. If you suddenly start hearing the media go back to talking about homeless people instead of the unhoused, you know they're cooperating with a progressive entity designed to get Democrats elected. They haven't just suddenly changed the Style book. And if the AP Style book comes out next week and changes everything back to the way it was before, well, you know how collaborative the Democrats and the media are. And it won't surprise any of us. We assume it's that level of collaboration. But the fact that this entity on the left has had to come out and say, hey, guys, stop talking crazy stuff. All the crazy stuff of which was incorporated into the AP Style book. When it comes out of the AP Style book, you see then and there, it's just another data point and real evidence of the collusion and collaboration between Democrats and progressives to use language to persuade Americans to vote Democrat.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
120 Corday Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still watching this crash. It should be about to clear. They got the cars on the tow trucks, 85 southbound in Norcross at Indian Trail Road, exit 101. They're holding 2 left lanes, so you're stacked up back towards Duluth. But again, I think that is about to clear. Looking for a new trouble spot on the south side on 75 northbound, approaching Jonesboro Road, exit 221 in McDonough. Seeing brake lights there, back to Highway 155. Traffic brought to you by Anthem, Blue Cross, and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/dream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
2 houses, same neighborhood, nearly identical. But one had an orchard sign, and it sold for way more. So what happened? Well, the first homeowner used a traditional agent, and after weeks of sitting on the market, price drops, and mounting frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard. Their local orchard agent didn't just list the home, they knew how to market it properly. They knew which upgrades would attract serious buyers, brought in pros to handle the prep, and positioned the home to sell for top dollar. And thanks to Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, That homeowner moved into their new place before the old one even hit the market. No showings, no disruptions, no living in limbo. That's the difference. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard. Start with a free home valuation at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The end of summer doesn't have to be the end of your fun. Your backyard can be your family's happy place all year long in a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy system, allowing you to customize each seat to fit every body in your family. Shop our huge Labor Day sale with instant rebates up to $2,500 and special financing for 60 months. Hurry, offer ends September 3rd. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of Brown'sPools.com.
Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling. It's August, which means school is back in session. Hey kids, remember homework? Coolray will help keep you cool while you study at home. Right now, Coolray is offering up to $2,250 back in rebates and free installation with the purchase of a complete Carrier system. You know, proper insulation is like a summertime sidekick for your HVAC, keeping cool air in and hot air out. Simply go to Coolray.com to book your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Want to be on the show? Come on, be on the show. Call Eric now at 877-973-7425.
Welcome back. Let's go to the phones this Open Line Friday, 877-973-7425. Spencer, you're going to be up next. Welcome to the show. How are you, Spencer?
Good, Eric. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah, it's nice to talk to you again. So I'm sure by now you've heard about the Cracker Barrel predicament.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you about that because I've heard it talked about on a lot of mainstream news, and I was listening to it the other day. An entire panel on Fox was talking about it, and everybody seems to have this more lighthearted take on it, and they're laughing it off, saying, "Oh, it's just stupid. You know, they should just go back to it." But I think that this goes deeper. I don't think that it's a coincidence that they're erasing a logo that has what most people think is, you know, a white man on it, and emphasis on the man part, because we've, you know, had a lot of cancellation of male culture, everything male and masculine. So there, you know, I think that there was a push to get rid of that too, but I didn't know who the CEO was until they showed her the other day on TV doing an interview, and it kind of made sense because she looks like a lot of these left-leaning CEOs and presidents with, the glasses.
She apparently
and looking
is. It will brought in from the outside to be in there, and yeah, I mean it's. I mean, talk about branding. They literally got rid of the cracker and his barrel on the logo.
Well, yeah, and my question to you is, how far do you think that this will go, and do you think that this is, like I believe, like kind of a strike against, or one more strike against anything that's American culture, and anything that people would say is, something good about America? Because I don't think that it'll end with just this. I would be a bit surprised.
Okay, that it's a good question. So see, here's my candid thinking. A lot of the people who are complaining the loudest are people who've said, I used to go to Cracker Barrel when I was a kid. This is bad. They don't go anymore. Cracker Barrel is losing it's losing foot traffic. It's trying to do something. I think that the redesign is dumb. It doesn't look good. I think the redesign of the stores doesn't look good, but Cracker Barrel's number one problem is the food. And this is a distraction for that. You've got the Democratic Party. The actual DNC's social media account came out last night and said, we don't like it either. It's like Unified America not liking it. I think the problems with Cracker Barrel, though, were bigger than a redesign. The food's no longer good. Now, I got to tell you about Americans for Prosperity. AFP I'm on their board of advisors for their activists, and I can tell you they really put points on the board. And right now, they want to put points on the board for our birthday coming up next year. This country will be 250 years old, and they want to do a 250,000 Steps for Freedom challenge where they want 250,000 people to take a step for freedom in their community. You can find out more about what they have in mind by going to afpvolunteer.com. Sign up with AFP. If you and I and everyone else takes one step for freedom in this country, we move the whole country towards greater freedom, and that's a great idea for our 250th anniversary as a country. Go to afpvolunteer.com, afpvolunteer.com. Sign up with AFP. They also can turn you into a highly effective advocate and activist for conservative causes around the country. They are organized in every single state. Go to afpvolunteer.com today to sign up.
I'm Chris Chandler. Coming up Monday, starting at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News. Triple Team Traffic get you to work or class on time as we add Georgia State to our list of back to school. The 5-day forecast for the week ahead, too. And Clark Howard's new warning for job seekers on WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios. News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 1:30. I'm Austin Eller. This news brought to you by Ben Hill Renovations. Our top local story, the Metro Atlanta community comes together to remember DeKalb County Police Officer David Rose, who was killed in the line of duty during the CDC shooting. DeKalb County CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson's among those who spoke during today's memorial.
Gratitude for service and a selfless man. David's story is forever a part of the DeKalb County story. His light will continue to inspire all of us.
A 21-gun salute and flyover are held after that service. Many CDC employees, including CDC Director Susan Menares, were in attendance. A 68-year-old moonshiner from Cherokee County is sentenced to federal prison for drug and gun offenses. Michael Farrell Price, also known as Cheese, was trafficking methamphetamine from a backwoods shed on the property of his 90-year-old mother's home in eastern Cherokee County. He was storing explosive devices, unregistered silencers, machine guns, and other firearms. He was also operating an illegal moonshine still. Price is sentenced to more than 7 years in prison. President Trump announces the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw will happen at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. He calls it the biggest event in sports, and Atlanta, of course, will play a role.
48 teams will play in 104 games across 16 North American cities, from Seattle to Vancouver to Atlanta to Miami.
8 matches will be held at Mercedes-Benz Stadium next year, the first of those taking place in mid-June. It's 1:31. Live team coverage of traffic and weather next.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
At Shane Company, we've been engagement ring experts for almost 100 years. We have the largest selection of diamonds and gemstones in stock. You don't have to wait to compare them side by side. Find the one that speaks to you at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
It's 1:34. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Some better news for those traveling out of Duluth into Norcross. The crash 85 southbound Indian Trail Road exit 101 that is cleared out of the second left lane. A crash in McDonough just cleared out of a travel lane as well. It's now on the left shoulder. I-75 northbound at Jonesboro Road exit 221, and a new crash on the West Freeway. It's in the left lane, 20 westbound before Fulton Industrial Boulevard exit 49. That's going to slow 285 both ways trying to ramp onto I-20. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with off and on rain showers today. High 84, lows tonight in the low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, hit or miss rain showers, high 81. Sunday, mostly cloudy, a few rumbles of thunder possible, high 82.
Right now, it's 78 degrees in Sandy Springs, 78 in Decatur, also 78 degrees in Midtown. More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, it's Eric Erickson here. It is an open line Friday, 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, I'd be happy to have you. I want to circle back because let me explain to you the way I work, the way this show works, just real quickly is when it's breaking news, I try to hit it when it happens, and then I move on. And oftentimes people come in, they're like, why haven't you talked about X, Y, and Z? It's because, well, I talked about it the other day, like, for example, Cracker Barrel. And a number of people say, are you going to talk about Cracker Barrel? I did an entire segment on Cracker Barrel yesterday. But the John Bolton raid in Maryland is fresh. And a couple people weren't here at the top of the first hour, and they asked, what's your take? And I want to circle back to that real quick and be a little more expansive because I was trying to get it out of the gate as it happened and move on to other stuff. But let me talk about narratives to explain to you why I'm waiting. And I will tell you, I'm split between maybe there's a there, and this looks like a political intimidation tactic on a critic. First, you should know, I know a number of people who work for Donald Trump in his first term who do not work for him now, who have become critics of his because of his first term, and to a person, they don't want to say anything now because they don't want to be attacked. They don't want the harassment. And they do believe that they will be bullied. Some of us, myself, I just don't care. I'm going to tell you what I think. But people who work for him, there is a concern. Here's my thinking, though, and it all goes to narratives. Donald Trump is not an agent of the Russians. He's not a lackey for Vladimir Putin. He was not elected because of the Russians. These are myths the Democrats told themselves, and because members of the media are Democrats, they've taken on a life within the media with credibility in a way that the stolen election claims have not. If a Democrat were to have claimed that the 2020 election were stolen, most of the anchors and reporters at CNN and MSNBC and at the New York Times, they would believe it and they would talk about it that way. And I know this because of how they talk about 2016 and the Russians. The Mueller report and others have made very clear that the Russians were trying to divide Americans, not get Donald Trump elected, and yet it remains mythology among members of the press, not just Democrats, that the Russians stole the election for Donald Trump. Republicans for a very long time speculated that actually this was a plant by Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and it was the intelligence community, and they collaborated, and on and on and on and on. You know the story. If Democrats thought the 2020 election or the 2024 election were stolen, every major media outlet in the country would treat it as stolen because members of the media are members of the Democratic Party. They work hand in glove together. I talked about a half hour ago the Democratic group Third Way coming out with a lot of words that Democrats should stop saying publicly, even if they believe them or use them privately, stop saying them publicly. It is remarkable how quickly the Associated Press style book rapidly moved to add cisgendered, birthing person, unhoused, incarcerated person, things like that, undocumented immigrant, because those are the phrases the Democrats used, and the Associated Press style book conformed to the language of the Democratic Party. So along comes Tulsi Gabbard. And by the way, as I have said many times, I think when most people say something's a distraction from Jeffrey Epstein, the person's stupid. I actually think Tulsi Gabbard trotting out the Russian intelligence stuff and the collaboration of the Democrats was to change the subject on Jeffrey Epstein. It was the first thing done after the Jeffrey Epstein story kind of exploded in the faces of the Trump administration, with the FBI saying there's no there, and Jeffrey Epstein actually did kill himself, and the base starts turning on the president and getting very irritated. Members of Congress suddenly want the Epstein stuff, and lo and behold, here comes Tulsi Gabbard and says, hey, wait, look at this. We found out that Barack Obama guided the intelligence community, and to say that the Russians stole the election, and holy cow, let's change the channel, let's change the subject, and let's change what we're paying attention to. I've spent some time on it, and to be sure, yeah, there was clearly an effort by people within the Obama administration to seed the narrative to the press that Donald Trump was a Russian plant. Donald Trump was a Manchurian candidate, if you will. Donald Trump, the Russians were invested in getting Trump elected. The data actually shows that's not true. The data actually shows that the Russians actually just wanted Americans deeply divided. Here's why I've treated it a little bit with kid gloves, though. The way that Tulsi Gabbard has told the story, and by the way, I agree the story is true that members of the Obama administration did collude with members of the press and Hillary Clinton's campaign to sow and seed the story that Trump was a Russian hack or a Russian plan, a Russian agent or whatever. But the way that Tulsi Gabbard sold the story and has been selling the story is just too perfect. It confirms every prior belief, exactly as every prior belief was shaped. It fits too neatly into the puzzle. Every hypothesis presumed by Trump supporters turns out to be exactly true, exactly the way they claimed it was, with the way Tulsi Gabbard is releasing this stuff. Now, I'm not old, but I'm definitely middle-aged now, having hit 50. And in my 50 years, anytime a story lines up too perfectly, it's not true. Anytime my priors are confirmed perfectly, I'm being sold a narrative, not reality. You all know this is true. I may be articulating it in a way that you're not used to, but you all know it's true, that the story can be true, that yes, members of the Obama administration decided to work with the Hillary Clinton campaign and members of the press to tell people that Donald Trump was a Russian plant. I believe that's true. But the way that they're telling the story, sharing the story, and trotting out the evidence of the story is being trotted out and designed to check every box of every person who suspected as much, and every theory they came up with is being proven true. Every way they said it was going to work it's too perfect. And life doesn't work that way. It is, and now listen, I'm making a nuanced point that those of you in Rio Linda are going to have trouble understanding here. My point is this: a story can be true, but also when it checks every box and lines up perfectly as all your prior assumptions assumed it would, then you're probably actually being told a story along with the truth. So now let's do John Bolton. The Democrats have told us Donald Trump is an authoritarian. Donald Trump was going to wield the government against his opponents. Donald Trump was trying to make people fearful. Donald Trump was going to use the government to go after and arrest people. He was going to throw people in jail who criticized him. Along comes an FBI raid on John Bolton's home this morning, and it's just too perfect. It's so perfect and conforms so perfectly to the media narrative, like they're not even considering maybe John Bolton actually did something wrong. And I'm sorry, in the same way that I'm willing to acknowledge that, yeah, the Democrats actually sold the media on the Russia story, but what Tulsi Gabbard is telling us just seems to be too perfectly shaped of a story to actually be what actually happened. The same thing here. I'm willing to believe that, yes, the FBI agents went after John Bolton because he's a critic of the president, but also there might be more to it than that, and we should wait and see because the story's just too perfect. It lines up too perfectly with the left's prior beliefs. It lines up too perfectly with the MSNBC narrative. It lines up too perfectly with what the editorialists at the New York Times believe about Donald Trump. And when that happens, that's never the way life works. These stories never line up exactly the way that you and your prior presuppositions believe. And yet this story is, if you believe that this is a raid on a Trump critic designed to silence him. Because here's the other point. In my experience, on the left and on the right, there are people who start riding high in the saddle within a movement. And they're the go-to person. They're the talking head. And at some point, they think they can get away with stuff they otherwise couldn't. And they start doing things they should not do. Dinesh D'Souza is a perfect example on the right. His profile was profound. He got out there. He violated campaign finance laws. He ran that Mule documentary, and he got sued for libel for it, and the publisher had to walk stuff back. But he was a hero of the right, and when the Obama administration came for him, the people on the right circled the wagons around D'Souza and said, this cannot be so. This is a political witch hunt. And actually, there was a there. This happens on both sides. All I'm saying is when what your preconceived ideas suddenly fit everything perfectly, there's probably more to the story. And on the right, it's the Russiagate stuff that everybody's priors are being perfectly fit into the story, which tells me that they've actually shaped a narrative around facts and truth, but they're selling more than is there. Even if they're selling the truth, they're telling it in a way that is not necessarily the complete truth. In the same way with the Democrats, when you're telling me that this is a raid on John Bolton because Donald Trump's an authoritarian and he silences his critics and he's using the government to come after him, that's just too convenient. It's just too convenient for me to believe that the way you're telling me the story is true, and there might be a there because in my experience in the conservative movement and as an observer of politics, there constantly are people who ride real high in the saddle in the conservative movement and in the progressive movement, and it turns out behind the scenes they actually have done things they should not have done. And the fact that the FBI was able to get a judge in Maryland, not friendly Trump territory, to authorize them going to John Bolton's home and office to seize documents suggests to me there could be a there there. And I know, and I see people who email me and say, you know, I mean, you tell me the man, I'll tell you the criminal charges. The anything for my friends, the law for my enemies. We give them enough time and evidence, they can indict a ham sandwich. I understand all of that. But I also understand those are the little stories you tell yourselves to build the narrative of how you navigate the world. And when everything conforms to those little stories just perfectly, you're tending to be deluded and you're not actually seeing the true story, because life is a little messier than conforming perfectly to all of your little puzzle pieces fitting together. So I'm going to wait and see. And also, I believe in the justice system of the United States of America, and I think the justice system is the last mature operating function in the federal government. And if they do try to prosecute John Bolton over this sort of stuff, and I do believe before a jury of his peers and an appellate process, though he should not have to go through it if it's a witch hunt, he would have to go through it, and he would be vindicated on the other side and probably be able to file lots of lawsuits for all sorts of things against the people who have prosecuted him if it was a political witch hunt. I'm just going to wait and see, because when either side starts telling me stories and all the puzzle pieces line up absolutely perfectly the way they told me the story, that tends to me to be a story and not the truth. And the left's narrative, they're trying to confirm it real hard with John Bolton today on everything nasty thing they've said about Donald Trump. And life just never works that way, so that your narrative and reality fit perfectly together on either side of the aisle. It just doesn't work that way, which leads me to believe there might actually be some there, and I just want to wait and see before jumping on one bandwagon or the other. Let's let the facts play out. As I said on social media and trying to explain this, I know everybody wants a hard take, you got to take a stand, you got to condemn the president, or you got to condemn John Bolton. I want more facts, and I'm not willing to do that in a serious situation like this. And you can disagree with me, and you can be disappointed one way or the other. I'm just telling you what I think and the way I see the world, and feel free to disagree. You're allowed to in this country. But I want you to know where I am right now on this. Now, I also want you to go to EdenPureDeals.com and put in the discount code ERIC3, ERICK3, and you can get 3 Eden Pure Thunderstorms. They are air purifiers, so they get rid of dust, pollen, pet dander floating in the air. They get rid of 99.9% of bacteria and viruses that flow through the machine with the generation of plasma. They also produce ozone that floats out into the air and eliminates all the odors. So if you're in a rental car, someone smoked in, you're in a hotel room and it stinks, your basement is musty, or you fried shrimp in the kitchen, you can fire up the Eden Pure Thunderstorm and it's going to wipe out the odors. You get 3 of them for less than $200. You save $200 at EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ERIC3, ERICK, the number 3 after it, no space, EdenPureDeals.com. ERIC3 is the discount code. You can fire it up with the USB cord. You can fire it up by plugging it into the wall. It will wipe out odors. You get 3 of them. You save $200, and they really do just work. EdenPureDeals.com, discount code ERIC3.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
151 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Picking up a new slow zone on the east side perimeter. We'll see what's associated with it. 285 southbound, the inner loop below Glenwood Road, exit 44. Already seeing the slow brake lights start to fill in back toward Memorial Drive. The west side, 285 north and southbound, both slow, trying to get onto I-20 westbound, where we had an I-20 west crash clear before Fulton Industrial Boulevard. And right lane construction continues in Ackworth, or out of Ackworth into Kennesaw, I should say. 75 south passing Wade Green Road. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Now at Whole Foods Market, Prime members get 20% off New York strip steaks through August 26th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh, my word.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your first chance to win is Monday at 8 a.m.
You've probably heard that constipation and IBS can all be related to a lack of fiber in your diet. Hi, it's Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. If you or someone you know suffers from constipation or IBS, let the Bread Beckers show you the way to more fiber and regularity and to better health without swallowing a pill or a bad-tasting drink. At the Bread Becker store in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real, delicious bread loaded with fiber from real whole grains. A healthy, affordable, and delicious solution for your family that can change your life. This is not like the enriched bread you buy at the grocery store. It's real bread. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of whole grains and real bread. So if you're struggling with bowel issues, high cholesterol, warts, or kids who seem to be constantly sick, take the first steps to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Hey friends, when was the last time you hopped out of bed without your knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without groaning, step by step? Let me guess, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, it'll disappear, I'll tough it out, but nothing ever changes, does it? Hey, it's Mark Air. Time to call and schedule that free consultation with the medical pros at QC Kinetics. There are thousands of patients who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. Bring your x-rays and your MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure chat and a thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Worst case, you learn something new. Best case, you get your life back. Grab the phone right now. Give them a call. 770-285-8026. Ask about that free consultation. 770-285-8026.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
At Coosa Valley Credit Union, we believe in kinder banking. That means speaking to a real person, a state-of-the-art website and mobile app, and kinder banking means offering our members the most competitive rates in the market. This is Andy Harris. Come see us at Coosa Valley Credit Union.
Two similar homes for sale, same neighborhood, but the one with the Orchard sign sold for more. Why? Well, Orchard's local agents know what buyers want, make smart upgrades, and handle it all. Get your free home valuation at Orchard.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans, no appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hello and welcome. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. The phone number is 877-973-7425. It is an open line Friday. Gavin Newsom claims they got the votes to move forward and get the voters of California to redistrict.
That's what this is about. We're responding what occurred in Texas. We're neutralizing what occurred, and we're giving the American people a fair chance. Because when all things are equal, and we're all playing by the same set of rules, there's no question that the Republican Party will be the minority party in the House of Representatives next year. We'll be transitioning, and I'll close, from this process that has unfolded over the course of the last few weeks to the campaign after I sign these two pieces of legislation establishing a special session.
You know, he says that, and the data just doesn't back it up. Mike Gonzalez at the Heritage Foundation pointed this out. In Massachusetts, Republicans get 36% of the vote. They have 0 seats in Congress. In Connecticut, 42% of the vote, 0 seats in Congress. 46% in Maine and 0 seats. 46% in New Mexico and 0 seats. 48% in New Hampshire and 0 seats. 42% in Rhode Island and 0 seats. 32% in Vermont and 0 seats. 38% in Hawaii and 0 seats. 42% in Delaware and 0 seats. The Republicans, just take New Mexico. 46% of the vote goes to Republicans. They have 0 seats in Congress. Democrats have structured and gerrymandered in such a way in these states to deny Republican seats. And also, given the number, it's real clear that Republicans actually have more leeway in Republican states to gerrymander. The Democrats in California are actually playing with fire here. They do this. You are going to see Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, and other Republican states redraw their lines, and there are far more ways for Republicans to draw lines to shut out Democrats than there are for Democrats to shut out Republicans, because the Democrats have already been so aggressive in gerrymandering. The Republicans are looking for this fight. I haven't seen Republican political operatives as excited about a political fight in a very long time, other than when they thought they were campaigning against Joe Biden. They are ready for this fight. They know they can win the fight. They know the data is on their side. And by the way, the law is on their side now, too. So Democrats, you want the fight? Welcome. You're going to lose this fight because the numbers are not on your side since you've already so aggressively done this. When we come back, let's talk about hard times and good times and strong men and weak men and where we're headed as a nation. I got some thoughts for you.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
This is Scott Slade with how a short phone call can change your life for the better. Take a few minutes and call MyLend and see if there's a way to put money in your pocket every month. There's so many options with MyLend. Here's an example. One of my friends at MyLend is looking at a reverse mortgage for his mom, who's 82. She's currently in a house that's paid for and too much to take care of by herself. So they're considering a reverse mortgage by selling her current house, then buying a smaller one by only putting 50% down and then putting the other 50% in her bank account, essentially trading homes and putting a couple of $100,000 in her pocket. If you or your parents have a similar situation, call MyLend, where the guys and gals there will put together a plan that's just right for you with no obligation. Call 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage License C148769, located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLand is an equal housing lender.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story, remembering a fallen police officer. Hundreds pack into a Dunwoody church to pay their respects to the DeKalb County officer killed during the shooting at the CDC.
DeKalb County Police Officer David Rose is remembered as a hero and natural leader with a calm presence and clear confidence. Interim DeKalb Police Chief Greg Padrick says through his actions, Rose showed the best of what it means to wear the badge.
Officer David Rose, we thank you. We honor you. And though you are gone from our sight, you will never be gone from our hearts.
Law enforcement agencies from across the state were represented at the service, and many CDC employees also came to pay their respects. Rose was buried in a private service last weekend. In DeKalb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
82 degrees in Atlanta. Hit or miss rain showers this afternoon. What about weekend rain chances? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. A federal magistrate finds Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt in breach of an agreement to improve conditions for women with serious mental health illness. Devin Orland with the Georgia Advocacy Center says while the physical facilities and food have improved, women still aren't getting out of their cells for at least 4 hours a day.
They have a duty to take care of these people, and we agreed to really the bare minimum, and they're not complying with it. They're making people worse. And whether it's one person, 10 people, 100 people, 150 people, making people worse is not okay.
The sheriff's office is filing an objection to the ruling. A week after a gun goes off inside inside Meadow Creek Elementary School bathroom, the Gwinnett County School Board votes on additional security measures. The vote comes after some kids speak out.
Now, if we want to avoid having a gun come into another elementary school, we must act now.
Each elementary school will now have an unarmed safety officer on campus to focus on securing the perimeter, doors, and playground areas. President Trump says Canada is dropping retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. The president says he spoke with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney earlier this week, and it was very productive. Now, WSB Money Update. Stocks are soaring today after Fed Chair Jerome Powell opens the door to a possible interest rate cut in September. Powell is still warning about the impact from tariffs and inflation.
There is significant uncertainty about where all of these policies will eventually settle and what their lasting effects on the economy will be.
The Fed last cut rates in September of last year, despite criticism from President Trump to do so now. The Dow is up now almost 900 points. The NASDAQ is up more than 2% at this hour. It's now 2:02. This news sponsored by Brett Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
This is Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing, the honest plumber. Like me, Superior Plumbing has been doing business for more than 40 years. Trust me, to last that long takes dedication to doing the job right and building trust with your customer base. I've used Superior Plumbing for years, and owner Jay Cunningham is committed to making you a customer for life, too. Next time you need a plumber, visit thehonestplumber.com.
Superior, the honest one, 770-4222 Plum.
It is 2:05, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. Some better news in Doraville. Just had a crash go from the second left lane to the right shoulder. Everything's back open. 285 eastbound, the Interloop Buford Highway. Brake lights stretch back to Chamblee-Dunwoody Road. South of there, also in DeKalb, 285 southbound, the Interloop around Glenwood Road, exit 44. I think a crash also just pushed off to the side there. And on I-85 in north and southbound through Duluth and Norcross, you're on and off the brakes in both directions between Jimmy Carter Boulevard and Highway 316. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies, humid, but not quite as hot today. High 84. A few hit-or-miss rain showers moving through later this afternoon into the evening hours.
80 in Woodstock, 78 in Snellville, 77 in Fayetteville. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Greetings, conversationalists. It's Eric Erickson here across the United States. It's an open line Friday. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program, would be very happy to have you. I want to have deep philosophical conversation. I've waited until the third hour. We've got through all the news. All the news is still talking about the FBI raid on John Bolton. We've discussed that at length. There's nothing else we can add at this point. I want to have a grown-up conversation with you. First, I'm reminded of a phrase that was recurring in the book of Judges. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. It's something to think about. It is time and time again, this phrase comes up. It's in Judges 17, it's in Judges 21. And then in those days, there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. It's constant recurrence with Israel having no king. There's a phrase that has circulated on social media a lot. It actually comes from a book called Those Who Remain. It's a post-apocalyptic book by a man named G. Michael Hopp. You've heard this phrase. You may not know where it comes from, but I guarantee you've heard this phrase or something comparable alluding to it. It's a sentence from the book. Actually, it's a group of sentences. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. Let me read it to you again. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. I wrote about this morning, and one of the first things I wrote about was, weak men, most weak men don't know they're weak men. They think they might be strong men, or at least middle management. They may not consider themselves the leader, but they're middle management. They don't look at themselves as weak. In fact, I know more people I would consider strong who have doubts and think they're weak than I know weak men who really think they're weak or know they're weak. It's the same thing with evil people. I mean, no Nazi. Well, there might have been a couple Nazis who got up in the morning and said, I'm going to go do evil today. Most of them got up, and many of them probably thought they were doing the Lord's work. Evil people get up and think they're good. Evil people think they're doing the Lord's work. Just like you and me, very few evil people really actually internalize their evil. Very few weak people actually internalize that they're weak. There are a lot of weak men in our good times, and good times produce weak men. And part of it historically is, the phrase history repeats itself, or history, if it doesn't repeat, it rhymes. It's because we forget. G.K. Chesterton talked about the democracy of the dead and how essentially the people who came before us did things through trial and error in such a way that they finally found out what worked. And we go through life and, we decide we know better than them. Tradition is only democracy extended through time. It is trusting to a consensus of common human voices rather than to some isolated or arbitrary record. Tradition means giving votes to the most obscure of all classes, our ancestors. It is the democracy of the dead. Tradition refuses to submit to the small and arrogant oligarchy of those who merely happen to be walking about. All Democrats object to men being disqualified by the accident of birth. Tradition objects to them being disqualified by the accident of death. Democracy tells us not to neglect a good man's opinion even if he is our groom. Tradition asks us not to neglect a good man's opinion even if he is our father. We do things in society in large ways because the people in the past, through trial and error, figured it out. Look at all the old, ancient cultures that were polygamist. Look at the cultures. I mean, the New Testament Israel, where very clearly God intended one man and one woman, and yet you had a bunch of polygamists, including, look, David, who and Bathsheba got her husband killed so he could, it's Solomon and all of his wives. God didn't intend it that way. That's what men did. But through trial and error over time, we settled on a two-parent heterosexual nuclear household. Is the best way to raise a family. It's the most stable way to raise a family. And we get to good times and people forget the necessity of family for a good civil society. So much of our breakdown in our society today is because we have forgotten what the hard times taught the strong men, that strong men need to be good husbands and fathers to perpetuate a stable society. There are a lot of people I know, men in particular, who think we can have sex, don't have to have kids. And you know what? When I get old and established, maybe I'll have a wife. I'm going to tell you something you may not want to hear if you're a young person listening right now, and I know you're out there. There is never a convenient time to have kids. You will never have enough money to be comfortable to have kids. You will never have enough money. You will never have enough stability. You will never have enough comfort. You will never have enough peace in your life for you and your wife to have kids. Just go on and have kids. And remarkably, the comfort and the peace come later. It's the great paradox of family. Young men who get married and have children and stay married have a better quality of life. They live longer and they make more money. Sociologists aren't exactly sure why, but it's the paradox of life. You think I got to get the money and the house and everything else before I have kids, but the data shows the people who put the kids first wind up with all the stuff you want without the kid. Because kids help you focus on more important things. And we as a society have forgotten that. And the progressive left in particular and liberal young women are being told by culture they can have their cake and eat it too. They can have their kids. They can have their career. They have no compromises that they need to make, no sacrifice they need to make. Everything's going to work. And it never works out that way unless you're fabulously wealthy, which most people aren't. And then the fabulously wealthy have their own set of psychoses to worry about. In our good times, we have forgotten that in the hard times, the strong men realized family first. Get married. When I say this, I'm thinking of a guy who is a friend of mine, who I know, who is in his 30s, who is a very good-looking guy, pridefully so, and he is absolutely convinced he'll get married one day, but right now he doesn't need to. It is easy for him to get women, have sex, and he has fun. And he travels a lot, and he makes a lot of money, and he has no desire to have a wife and kids and to be shackled. He's having a good time. And I just look at him as like, you're not the strong man you think you are. You may be able to out deadlift me. You may be able to out bench press me. You may have lower body fat than me. But you know what? I have a wife who I love. I have children who I love, who love me, and I go home at night and I'm happy. And he is always restless and looking for more. And when I am 70 or 80 years old, and I finally decide to start thinking about retirement, I'll have hopefully still my wife, but my kids and grandkids, and there will be someone to take care of me. And I don't know who's going to take care of him. He's an only child. He doesn't have nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters. And he's no interest in making a family. And I guess to some degree, I know people, and we haven't had this conversation, but I know people like, well, I'm not going to live that long anyway. Might as well have a good time. It's sad. It's not a strength. It's a weakness. And it devalues society. And a lot of that is from popular culture, and it's a weakness. But there's a corollary here, and this is where I step on some of your toes. We haven't just learned in the hard times the necessity of a cultural conservatism and the need for family, and we shouldn't be devaluing family, and we shouldn't get to the point in society where the weak men now think the men can wear the dresses and the women can wear the pants and the boys can become the girls and the girls can become the boys. You only get to that point in good times where you have nothing else to worry about, and then you start to break down society, and that's happening right now. There's also economics. And this is what pains me about the progressive right, because the progressives aren't just on the left, they're on the right, and many of them are shaping public policy for the president. You and me making decisions for our family are always going to make better decisions for our family than the government will. You and me deciding where we want to shop what products we want to buy, when we want to buy, where we want to buy, who we want to buy with, who we want to buy from, we're always going to make a better decision for our family. And the way we figured out in hard times, the strong men figured it out, is that by letting you and me manage our families and our finances the way we wanted to, we actually make the whole country better instead of a top-down approach. But there are loud voices in Washington whispering in the ear of the Trump administration that think Washington knows best. The same people who vilified the healthcare bureaucrats for thinking they knew better than the American people now think they know better than the American people when it comes to the economy. And that, by the way, that includes tariffs. What is a tariff? A tariff is a tax punishing you for buying a product the government doesn't want you to buy. It's trying to control where you spend your money. The government has $150 billion in revenue from tariffs. That money's not coming from China like Peter Navarro thinks. That money's coming from American businesses, which are now not going to pay as high a wage or invest as much or give dividends to their shareholders for their 401ks, or that money's coming from you. Walmart is seeing increased sales. Why? Because people are having to go to Walmart because Walmart has a manufacturing supply line that's more robust than a Target and other places, and so they've been able to keep costs lower. That people are shifting their sales and their purchases to Walmart is actually a bad sign for the American economy because tariffs are starting to have an impact on daily lives. The government deciding to buy controlling shares in Intel in order to give them money. These are the things in hard times the strong men learned were terrible ideas because it breeds inefficiency. It causes companies to make decisions for the government, not for the shareholders, not for the employees, not for the investors. It's a terrible idea, roundly rejected by the strong men in the hard times. The American economy exploded and has unleashed freedom around the world in large part because the American governments realized that allowing people to keep and spend their money as they wished was better than the government creating an industrial policy and an economic policy that told Americans how to spend their money, where to spend their money, when to spend their money, with whom to spend their money. The progressive left has forgotten that families matter. The progressive right has forgotten that basic free market economics matter. They are calling it state capitalism. That's what China called their version of capitalism woven within a communist socialist society, state capitalism. It's not capitalism. Capitalism itself comes from Marxism. Marx defined it derisively as capitalism. It's free markets. Free people need free markets. And what the government is doing right now is they're taking freedom out of the markets and giving it to technical bureaucrats. It's mini Dr. Fauci's for the economy. You are smarter than the government. And it doesn't matter whether the government is Republican or Democrat. You are smarter than the government. You know the needs of yourself, your family, and your pocketbook better than the government. You know where to get the cheapest goods for your family, and we benefit. There is a reason the United States has the most robust economy on planet Earth. Even when our economy is underperforming where we want it, like in the last few years with Joe Biden, it was still better than everywhere else on Earth. We had way higher inflation than we should have had because of Joe Biden, and it was still less inflation than everywhere else because Americans tend to do well making their own decisions. When the government bureaucrats interfere, we get things like inflation or tariffs. The weak men in charge actually think they're strong and think they can strong-arm you into a family the way they want it, into an economy the way they want it. And then we get hard times. And I'm afraid hard times are coming because weak men are whispering in the ears of the political leaders of Washington, D.C. on both sides, telling the Washington elite that they know better than you and me how to provide for our families and how to shape policies. And history shows us time and time again, and we'll have to get to the hard times to figure it out again, I guess, that you and me making decisions ourselves in the best interest of ourselves and our family is actually what makes the economy the most robust on planet Earth. And I hate that we're probably going to have to go through hard times again, but when you've got the Commerce Secretary advocating for something he calls state capitalism and government control of Fortune 500 companies, well, that's where we're headed, so buckle up.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Coolray Carrier WSB 24-hour traffic center. New crash heading up through Kennesaw. It's in the left lane, 575 northbound Barrett Parkway, exit 1. Those delays are already spilling back on 75 toward Highway 5. Use Highway 5, the express lanes of the Peach Pass, or even 75 north as alternates to avoid that. 75 southbound still jammed in between Ackworth and Kennesaw with that right lane construction at Wade Green Road, exit 273. Traffic brought to you by Mattress Firm. Need better sleep? Upgrade to a premium bed now and get the rest you deserve at Mattress Firm's best sale of the year. They make sleep easy. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
That's awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your first chance to win is Monday at 8 a.m.
That's amazing.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
That spot on the ceiling, it's only gonna get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker from my experts at Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Findlay now has 0% financing available, so it's even easier to get your roof replaced. FindlayRoofing.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
You know, I've had listeners, coworkers, friends come up and ask me, hey, Aram, what makes Advanced Hair Restoration different? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. First off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and their before and afters are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge-quality experience that's hard to find elsewhere. Finally, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. Quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for the savings special opportunity, it's here, friends. Advanced Hair Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details and to schedule your free consultation, call 770-660-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair guaranteed to grow. 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on fresh Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts. They're on sale now for only $2.69 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Breathe easier with Zerorez Air Duct Cleaning. Trust Zerorez to get your ducts insanely clean. Mention WSB Radio to get $75 off your next cleaning. Use promo code AIR75 when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Taking the complicated and making it simple. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
Hello and welcome. It is Erick Erickson here. Let's go to the phones to Greenville, South Carolina. Jillian, you're going to be up next. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Eric. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you? How's Greenville?
Greenville is muggy, but otherwise great. Thank you.
Same around here.
Yeah. My question is, I know that you dislike tariffs, but I was wondering, what is your solution to the problems of protectionism, especially the EU and China, but also other countries against American products and services?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. So first of all, strategically deploying tariffs, I'm not opposed to. So I do think there need to be tariffs on, for example, companies that are making pharmaceuticals in China, trying to discourage them from being there, move their supply line to an American ally, something like that. And likewise, I think that there are better options than tariffs. What are we doing with tariffs? We're doing tariffs to try to repatriate manufacturing into the United States. There are actually better ways to do that than tariffs. Why? Because tariffs drive up costs. If you lower costs, you're actually going to be able to do a better incentive to get people here. A lot of the companies that they're trying to incentivize to repatriate manufacturing aren't even doing it because, well, their underlying products that they need to make their finished products are being tariffed, so the costs are going up for them too. So you deregulate not just environmental regulations, you deregulate the labor supply. You deregulate for them their ability to build where they want to build, to be able to make their factories. You lower taxation on these businesses. You give them greater leeway to deduct the costs of the things that they're putting into their factories up front instead of having to drag it out over time. There are lots of ways to lower the cost to make them more competitive, to build domestically and repatriate manufacturing than tariffs, which is a one-size-fits-all approach that winds up hurting as much as helping. Now, I want to talk about this a little more, Jillian, on the other side of the break, so stay tuned. Right now, I got to tell you about Hillsdale College, which, by the way, has a great class on capitalism and its virtues that, to some degree, Jillian, takes on this topic on how free markets can be deployed to stimulate the economy more than protectionism. You can take that class or take the one of the Federalist Papers completely free, or 38 other classes by going to erickforhillsdale.com. ERICK, erickforhillsdale.com. You sign up with Hillsdale College. It's completely free. You take one of these classes. You find a topic you are interested in, and let Hillsdale's best faculty guide you through their video lectures, 30 minutes apiece, multiple episodes depending on the topic, and you'll get smarter about a topic like, for example, capitalism or the Federalist Papers or C.S. Lewis or Shakespeare. erickforhillsdale.com is the website to go to. It's completely free from Hillsdale College, erickforhillsdale.com. More on Jillian's question on tariffs when we come back.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story, remembering Officer David Rose. A memorial service is held today for the DeKalb County officer killed in the attack at the CDC 2 weeks ago. DeKalb CEO Lorraine Cochran Johnson among the speakers.
Today we gather not to mourn, but to be uplifted by the example of a man whose life is defined by service, by sacrifice, and by love.
Officer Rose is honored with a 21-gun salute. Gwinnett County says some residents will see significant delays in their property tax bills this fall. The vast majority of the county will receive their bills next month, but those within the city of Grayson will receive theirs much later in mid-November. The county says it's because of recent changes required by new laws under the Gold Dome. President Trump announces today the World Cup draw will take place at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C.
The Kennedy Center will
give it a phenomenal kickoff.
The draw will take place December 5th. We'll find out which teams will be coming to Atlanta for the initial matches next summer. Mercedes-Benz Stadium will host a total of 8 games during the World Cup. Gas prices are expected to remain relatively low for the upcoming Labor Day weekend. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular should stay below last year's average of $3.33 for the rest of the summer, as long as Gulf Coast refineries are not impacted by hurricanes. The average price in Georgia today is at $2.90, nearly 30 cents less than a year ago. It is now 2:32. This news is sponsored by FGA Roofing. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler here at Shane Company. Come on in, feel at home, and let's find your dream engagement ring. I'm proud to work for a company that puts customers first and lets them shop the way they want to. See, we believe shopping for an engagement ring should be fun, without any of the pressure. We don't work on commission, so finding your dream ring is truly on your terms. We'll be right by your side as your friend and jeweler to help you find a ring more beautiful than you imagined and stick to your budget too. We have all of the styles and all of the smiles. You can even watch our in-house jewelers working their magic inside your neighborhood store. It's that kind of care and craftsmanship that makes Shane Company's free lifetime warranty the best in the business, saving you thousands over time and giving you peace of mind. No appointment necessary, or check us out at shaneco.com. Because a friend knows when you're ready, you're ready. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
At the Original Mattress Factory, you'll often hear us say we can't fit our quality in a box. Our customers feel the same way. Here's what an actual OMF customer had to say.
I recently purchased a bed-in-a-box mattress and returned it a month later. I replaced it with a bed from the Original Mattress Factory, and I am beyond thrilled. Don't bother with any of the online mattress brands. Go to OMF and you'll be in great hands. My only regret is not going there sooner.
Come see our quality firsthand at the Original Mattress Factory.
It is 2:34. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. Alex Williams.
Hey, Bill. Travel advisory continues up through Kennesaw with this crash. It's in the left lane, 575 northbound Barrett Parkway, exit number 1. That's slowing 75 north back into Marietta. You can always use Highway 5. The express lanes with a Peach Pass will get you around that. 75 southbound is a rough one between Ackworth and Kennesaw with that right lane construction at Wade Green Road, exit 273. And really packing in now, 85 northbound out of DeKalb into the Chamblee area, trying to make your way up into Norcross from 285 up to Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Now Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies, humid, but not quite as hot today. High 84. A few hit or miss rain showers moving through later this afternoon into the evening hours.
80 in Fairburn, 78 in Conyers, 81 in Cumming. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Tackling politics and culture with clarity.
You would think that there would be more for the media to cover than the John Bolton raid. My goodness gracious. However, there actually is breaking news I see on CNN. There's multiple fatalities and entrapments. A tour bus and a semi have crashed in New York. Boy, prayers for those people. Jillian called from Greenville, South Carolina. She's asking, what's my response to tariffs? Let me work you through this one. And first of all, you should know the president is confirming that the government is negotiating a 10% stake in Intel. That's really bad economics. It'll make the government the largest single shareholder of Intel. Intel has been a terribly mismanaged company, and this will not fix it. Why? Because when the government takes control, the decisions become political decisions, not economic decisions, not business decisions. And if Barack Obama or Joe Biden were in charge, you would all be opposed to it. And you're thinking, but it's okay, Donald Trump's going to be there. He's not going to be there forever, y'all. There's no such thing as permanence in politics. He is setting a precedent doing this. You could say, well, what about Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac? That was a congressional law. What about GM? That was a congressional law. This is not, and this is not a good economic policy. Why? Because, again, history shows, and we learned in the hard times, the more the government is involved in the business of companies and in the business of the economy, the worse the economy does. In the same way that none of you trust the healthcare bureaucrats to make healthcare decisions in Washington, the economic bureaucrats are just the same sort of people. The technocrats decide they know what's best. And you may say, well, right now we have Republican technocrats, but you won't always have Republican technocrats. So the best thing is to set the precedent of keeping the government out of the economy. That gets me to tariffs. What is a tariff? A tariff is a duty. What is a duty? A duty is a tax on an item. We distinguish a duty and a tax because a tax is this is semantics, I realize, but it actually does matter in terms of the law. A tax is something that you owe. A duty is something the product owes. Now, the product can't pay taxes, you pay the taxes, but somebody pays the taxes. So a tax is something that you are obligated to pay. A duty is tied to an individual good, and someone is obligated to pay it for the good. It doesn't matter who, someone's got to pay it. In some cases, what is happening right now is overseas, about 30% of the tariffed items that come into this country, the manufacturers overseas have cut the price so that the price doesn't change when it comes into this country. So the American importer is still paying the same amount of money. It's just some of the money is going to the government and some of the money is coming to us. Or some of the money is going to the manufacturer overseas. So that's about 30% of the tariffed items. 40% of the tariffed items are seeing price increases, and American companies are eating the cost so that your price doesn't go up. So the American company is paying the higher price, and they're just not making as much money now, but you don't see a price increase. That's 70% of the products is either the manufacturer abroad is cutting the price or the American manufacturer is eating the cost increase. The other 30%, price increases. And as the tariffs continue, fewer companies are going to keep eating the price, and they're going to pass it on to you. And you will be the one who pays the duty. The money will be collected by the company and reimbursed to the government. So your prices will go up, and it's starting to happen, and there's ample data out there showing it's starting to happen, from banana prices and coffee prices right now at the grocery store to aluminum cans. Beer prices are starting to go up. Soft drink prices are starting to go up. A lot of prices are starting to go up. What's the alternative, though? And that's Jillian's question now you know why I think a tariff is bad, because a tariff is a tax that you or a company are going to pay. And by the way, if the company eats the cost on the tariff, if the company says, you know what, we're just not going to make as much money, well, now wages don't go up as high. Wages don't go up, or they don't hire people. That's one of the things that Jerome Powell is looking at, why he's saying that they may cut interest rates, is because companies aren't firing people right now, but they're not hiring people right now because of their costs. So if a company eats the cost on a tariff, they have less money to pay as a dividend to shareholders. The value of the company doesn't grow, so your 401k stagnates. They can't hire as many people. They can't pay higher wages. It has an economic cascading effect. Either you're paying the higher price or they are. Either way, it has an effect. So what's the alternative? The alternative is make the business environment in the United States better. There is a reason a lot of Japanese automakers build factories in right-to-work states in the United States. About 2 hours to the southeast of me in Bryan County, Georgia, there is a massive Hyundai plant being built for electric vehicles. It is When I say it is a massive plant, so I'm getting on my maps program right now and turning on satellite view here, you can see it on the satellite. If you go down to get on your satellite program, look at find I-16. It goes out of Macon, Georgia to Savannah, Georgia. You can zoom in around Blickton, Georgia, Pembroke, Georgia, that area, and you will see this massive, massive plant being built. It stretches more than 1.5 miles along the interstate and goes about 1.5 miles back off the interstate. It's ginormous. It's being built in Georgia because Georgia is a right-to-work state. It's being built in Pembroke, Georgia, and the Ellabelle area and the Blickton area because land is cheap. There's a lot of land down there. It's near Savannah, so it's near the Savannah International Airport and Gulfstream. It is near the Savannah Harbor, so cars can be shipped out of there. It's near a major rail line. There's a lot of land down there, and it's cheap. And Georgia was able to cut regulations to get it built and put a lot of people to work. The wild thing about this is the towns around there are very small. They don't have the sewer capacity for the amount of people they expect to be living there in the next 5 years. There are massive construction projects underway. But you cut costs, you deregulate, you make it easier for businesses to build in areas where land is cheap, and you don't need tariffs to repatriate. One of the problems of a lot of American manufacturing moving overseas is because the workforce is not as educated here as it is in some other parts of the country. We got a lot of kids coming out of public school who are illiterate still and can't do basic math. There are ways that we can stimulate our economy and repatriate jobs without taxation, and that's what a tariff is. But think about the number of companies. So there was a report that Donald Trump is going to increase steel and aluminum tariffs further. That actually is going to hurt the ability to repatriate manufacturing. Why? Basic economics. If you read Milton Friedman, you read Hayek, you read Adam Smith, you read any free market economist, here's what you find. When tariffs are imposed on imports, the domestic manufacturers of the same products can raise their prices. Why? If I'm selling something at $10 and the foreign manufacturer is selling something at $7, but thanks to tariffs, the imported cost is now $15. My product is still $10. Their product is now $15. I can raise my price to $13 or $14, and I'm still cheaper than the imported product. That's what's actually happening with aluminum right now. The Anheuser-Busch, InBev, Ford Motor Company, GM, Stellantis, they're all warning now. They're screaming very loudly at this point that domestic aluminum and steel producers are raising their prices on them. Why? Because the domestic aluminum and steel will still be cheaper than the foreign aluminum and steel, but prices are going to go up. I mean, the domestic manufacturer has no incentive to keep their price down. They're not going to be punished for raising their price, so they're raising their prices. So your costs are going to go up. So what could they do? Well, just take the steel mill in Pennsylvania that got bought by the Japanese, but the American government now has an interest in it. Again, socialism. They're not having to make any labor changes. They're not having to move to a state that has less union regulations. They're not having to change how they hire. That nobody's having to do anything to this company to help it lower domestic prices. What you could do is you could actually deregulate the company. You could lower build standards for that company without compromising safety. You could lower labor costs by ending forced unionization. The company would still be paying high wages, but they wouldn't be bound to all the weird union rules. Do all sorts of stuff to help them make money. In fact, there are steel plants in this country, in right-to-work areas of this country, that are competitive to the foreigners because those state governments and the federal government deregulated them in terms of labor, deregulated them in terms of the ability to build and expand, and they're competitive. We don't need tariffs to do this. We have ample examples in this country. But also, some things are better manufactured overseas to keep costs down for Americans. You don't need to rebuild the T-shirt or the sock factory in the country, but it doesn't need to be made in China either. And this is where I think the president has missed the boat to a degree. And what I've advocated for is for ally shoring. So instead of offshoring, let's do pharmaceuticals. That's a good one. A lot of generic pharmaceuticals made in China. It should not be the case. I'm in favor of tariffs on that. It's strategic tariff for deterrence. Those tariffs those antibiotics could be made in Argentina. Labor costs are lower in Argentina. There's a free market government in Argentina that loves us. We want Milei to do well there. We should be helping Milei create jobs in Argentina. We don't need all of these generic drugs to be made in the United States. Some of them, yes, for national security concerns, but not all of them need to be. They could be made in Argentina. Why are they being made in China? Because we have provided no disincentive. That's why when I say I'm against tariffs, I'm not against strategic tariffs against our enemies like China. Look at India. We're imposing major tariffs on India because India is continuing to buy Russian oil. I think there's a problem there. But what are the Indians doing? They're now playing nice with the Chinese and the Russians. We encouraged Apple to move its product lines for the iPhone to India. Now we're imposing tariffs on India. What's Apple going to do? I think Apple should move maybe to Mexico, maybe to Argentina, move to the Western Hemisphere. Argentina labor costs are more than India, but they're still less than here. Jillian, all of this is say, if you're still listening and haven't bored you to death, there are ways to do what the president wants done without tariffs, because tariffs ultimately amount to a tax on you and me. And if we aren't paying the tax and companies are eating the cost of it, they're slowing their hiring, they're slowing their wage increases, they're slowing their investments, they're slowing their dividends for 401ks, and there is a fallout effect from tariffs. And it has been well shown on the left and the right what the fallout of tariffs are. I don't need to continuously go into that, but there are problems with tariffs. Now, Jillian is calling from South Carolina. Think about BMW. BMW has a major facility in South Carolina. It's being impacted by tariffs. In fact, they're slowing hiring there. Boeing is in Charleston, South Carolina. Boeing's an American manufacturer making planes. But Boeing, the 787 that is made in Charleston, South Carolina, put together in South Carolina, has parts that come in from all over the world. Boeing is being negatively impacted by the tariffs because it has different parts made in different countries that then go to Charleston, South Carolina for fitting. And so the cost of the Boeing aircraft is starting to go up. There's a company, I forget now which one it is, Jillian, in Greenville, South Carolina. It's an American manufacturer. Who is it? I can't remember now, but they issued a statement last week saying that they're about to start raising prices because of tariffs. I don't want to be a broken record on it. I'm sure I've bored you all to death. I'm trying to answer Jillian's question, just show you. There are ways for our government to stimulate the economy domestically. We did make a mistake in encouraging the offshoring of everything. We are now a service economy. There are national security concerns for building weapons in the United States and things like that, where the government absolutely does have to say, you know what, national security trumps free market economics. I'm not a libertarian. I recognize national security concerns with tariffs and things like that. But I also think that the way that they're being deployed right now, whether it's the government taking 10% of Intel or tariffs, these are 1950s and 60s Democrat-style economic policies that even John F. Kennedy started rejecting when he was president, and that the Republicans realized by the time Reagan was president were bad. And when the Republicans pushed them off in the 1980s, our economy exploded and began to become the fastest and greatest economy on planet Earth, where it's been ever since. And if we forget these lessons, we're doomed to repeat these lessons. And I really don't want to repeat these lessons, but it looks like we're headed that way. Now, let me tell you about Swiss America. They've been warning people about a secret war on cash. You got all the Basel III regulations and everything else out there, and people are being encouraged to use credit cards and debit cards instead of using cash. Swiss America wants to give you their report on the secret war on cash and help you protect your hard-earned assets now. You can get a free copy by calling or texting 800-289-2646. The all-out war on cash includes digital forms of currency. It's spreading. Get their report, The Secret War on Cash, completely free. All you have to do is mention me when you call or text 800-289-2646. Just text ERIC, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. 800-289-2646. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. SwissAmerica.com/ERICK, or just text Eric to 800-289-28. I'm sorry. 800-289-2646. 800-289-2646. Message and data rates may apply.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
251 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Better news in Kennesaw. That crash 575 northbound at Barrett Parkway. Exit number 1 is now off to the right. All lanes are back open, and they're picking up the right lane construction in Kennesaw on 75 southbound passing Wade Green Road, so that should help the ride out of Ackworth. Just found a new crash in the cab in the left lane, Covington Highway westbound at Glenwood Road. Traffic brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Learn more about their support of Common Threads and nutrition education at anthem.com/stream. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthcare Plan of Georgia, Inc. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
We've all been
Jam
there.
starting at Langford Parkway.
Counting the minutes before we know we're going to be late because we couldn't count on a traffic app.
Jam from I-85 down towards Ponce.
There is one thing you can count on. Triple team traffic on WSB.
Stay slow once you're inside the perimeter as well.
We know the highways. We know the streets. And we know the shortcuts.
75 northbound heading up to Cobb County through Marietta and Kennesaw.
And all you need to do is listen.
More experience.
More reliable. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well. And I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto-pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app, or by texting Eric to 33777.
Hello, welcome. It's Eric Erickson here across the United States of America. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. This is probably the most important segment of the show. I've waited until the end, and this may be the most important part of the show. Braves players, I know you listen to my program. I need you to win tomorrow. I'm taking my son. He has never been to a Braves game before. He's never really wanted to go, and he's finally gotten into the Braves. He's going. I'm taking him to see them beat the Mets tomorrow night. Braves, I need you to win. My son is going. We're taking some longtime friends of ours who are obsessive Braves fans. And Braves, I need you to beat the Mets. And one, you need to beat the Mets because, well, between David and Fisher here on the payroll, I mean, they're Mets fans and they need to be humiliated. And so Braves, I need you to win tomorrow for that. But I need you to win because I'm taking my son to his first Braves game. So I need an exciting game, and I need you to win, Braves. So please win for my son and for our friends who are going with us. It's just very important. I literally, my son and I, we've been talking about this, and I got some tickets for some friends of ours to go. He's like, well, I want to go. I've never been to a Braves game. I was like, I thought you'd been. No, we were supposed to go last year, and he got sick, and we wound up not being able to go. And I go with friends, and it's just he's never really been into wanting to sit in a ballpark and watch a baseball game, but he has suddenly gotten interested in the idea of doing it. And so I'm like, all right, we're going to go to a Braves game. Normally, like, I'm taking him to see Nate Bargatze. I'm taking him to see John Mulaney. He's big into comedians. We go to the movies a lot. I'm taking my daughter to a Cubs game coming up, but he wants to go see the Braves beat the Mets. And so I need you guys to I need y'all to step up and beat the Mets tomorrow. Save your energy tonight. Beat the Mets tomorrow while I'm there with my son. Tell you, it's really important stuff. I got to get him into it. I got it so he'll go with me to games. He's at that age where it's fun to hang out with him. He's 16, and we were going to go play golf this afternoon, but it's about to pour down rain here, so we're not. But we're going to go to the Mets. We're going to go to the Braves game to see him beat the Mets tomorrow. I need you guys to be there to step it up and beat the Mets tomorrow. Everybody else, have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
The Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
We've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station. WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
I need to give a second warning about something I talked about months ago, and that is when you're renting a car, you need to know the danger of renting from Hertz Rent-A-Car. Hertz Rent-A-Car has implemented a new AI system that they're adding as quickly as they can, city by city, where you might rent a car, that scans the rental car when you return it, looking for any possible thing that they could ding you for in your wallet. And Hertz has no human system for this. It's all automated. And a lot of times, it's been documented, Hertz is billing people for damage that was already on the vehicle when you rented it. I don't rent from Hertz anymore because of this. If you do rent from Hertz, thoroughly shoot video of the vehicle before you take the rental and when you return it. I'm Clark Howard.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 3 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top local story. A fallen police officer remembered. A service in Dunwoody today honors the DeKalb County police officer killed in the shooting at the CDC 2 weeks ago.
A 21-gun salute pierced through the silent crowd of hundreds that came to pay their respects to Officer David Rose, who interim DeKalb Police Chief Greg Pedrick says will never be forgotten.
Let his example remind us of why we serve and how we serve.
Oscar Tarago was among the large group of CDC employees who attended the service.
Knowing that Officer Rose was killed defending our center speaks a lot about his integrity.
Rose was buried in a private funeral over the weekend. In DeKalb County, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
82 degrees in Atlanta. Will it stay dry for Friday Friday Night Lights. Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. Tragedy in upstate New York. Several people are dead after a tour bus crash about 30 miles east of Buffalo.
And at this time, we have multiple fatalities, multiple entrapments, and multiple injuries.
State Trooper James O'Callahan does not have the exact number of dead yet. Some